And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China.
Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. They want us to sell our souls to barter profit. Like God's property, it's hard to market. So we steady to aim, keep your eyes on target. Cause when you got to drive, yeah, they'd rather you park it. But I don't valet, you ain't getting these keys. I'm keeping closed hands, I'm on bended knee. I'm just a reflection, dealing with 8 sections. Art mixed with life, you can feel the convection. Your lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have.
Bunch of Aryan-looking people that comes from Eastern Europe and pretends that God gave them the land 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Right. And oh no, we're the real Jews.
There are Ashkenazi Jews who are entirely European in their DNA. That's why you're not allowed to have a DNA test in Israel, because it will reveal that virtually none of them are Semitic, virtually none of them have any ancestral connection to the land. I was viciously assaulted by a manager in the BBC who had recently converted to Judaism. It's fine, I love all religions. But you can't say I've now converted to Judaism and therefore I have a right to go to the land of Palestine and live in the house of someone whose ancestors have been living in it for thousands of years.
That's what the Zionists did, except instead of a baseball team, they went to try to convince the Jews that the Jewish people are a nation, like France and like Spain. We'll get a land, that's Israel, that's our stadium. We'll get baseball bats and balls, we'll create a language. They sat down to create a language because nations need languages. They sat down to create a language because nations need languages. They sat down to create a language. They sat down to create a language.
They sat down to create a language.
When I show you what I'm about to show you, your mind will be blown. You're going to be blindsided. Every single Israeli prime minister has a fake name. Did you know that? I was just talking about Ben Gurion. Do you know what his original name is? It's Gruen. Gruen. He changed it to make it sound more Jewish and sound more Middle Eastern. Do you know what Netanyahu's real name is? It's not Netanyahu, it's Milkovsky. I swear to God, go and look it up. You'll find Milkovsky. That's his real name. These are, remember what Israelis are. Israelis are European Jews. They don't come from Palestine, but they want you to make you believe. They want to make believe and make you believe that they come from this area, that they are indigenous to the land, that they're so Jewish, right? Even though they have no connection. So they changed their names.
This story begins in October 1949, 1 year after Israel's formation. This is when Netanyahu was born, the second child of a historian. His paternal grandfather was a rabbi and a Zionist writer. His name was Nathan Milikowski. Later in life, he Hebraized his surname from Milikowski to Netanyahu, a name which means God has given.
This is Yair Netanyahu's DNA test that has been leaked. You can see right there his Y DNA is RM198. Descendants of RM198 come from Poland, Russia, Germany, and other European countries. Does this look Semitic to you? Does this look Middle Eastern?
And we do have DNA tests, which by the way are banned in Israel. You're not allowed to get DNA tests in Israel.
Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now, I bet you thought it was going to be a lot crazier than that, right? Now, you might ask yourself, why is it illegal to obtain this in the state of Israel? Because it proves through your DNA that Jews around the world have no ancestral ties to the land of Israel. But according to Israeli law, the fact that I have Jewish blood gives me more right to somebody's home and land in the land of Palestine than somebody that has been there for hundreds of years. Doesn't make sense.
You say, well, where did the name Ashkenazi came from? So, a little over 1,000 years ago, as Jewish people scattered around the world had now emigrated in Europe and now were living in the Rhineland in Germany, they looked at the name Gomer in Genesis 10, and they connected Gomer with Germany, so they took on the identity of the name Ashkenaz. It has nothing to do with Ashkenaz in the Bible, which is a descendant of Japhet. It's just a name that was taken. Okay, it's that simple. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin.
Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin.
Michael Brown, I am Caucasian.
Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin or anything else. It was shortened from a Russian name when my grandfather came over at Ellis Island. The name got shortened to Brown. It's just a name. That's all it is. So the idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from Japhet is a myth, 100% false, zero truth to it. Just study the history.
The Bible speaks of a group referred to as the synagogue of Satan. But can we determine with Scripture who this group is? So the scriptures that I want to use to point out this topic are in the book of Revelation. So we know that the book of Revelation is speaking predominantly about end times things, and he's warning these churches of the end times. He's warning them of this. And this could actually be a warning for those times when this was actually being preached as well. But pay attention to this. So Revelation 2:9 says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. But the people that are living in Israel right now, or in Jerusalem, in that area right now, who practice Talmudic Judaism, come from the Ashkenazi tribe, who are descendants of Japheth through his son Gomer, and therefore they are not biblical Jews, meaning coming from the line of Shem or a Shemite.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. For you to say that those Jews are God's people, that Judaism is a godly religion, is blasphemy against the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. If your church has that hex flag, the Zionist doctrine, please warn them, speak to them in truth and in love.
You know, the DNA test that they've done on the Israelis that are living over there, they're Eastern European Ashkenazi Jews.
Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew. So cool out. Until you do your facts, until you really do the facts with the fake indoctrination that y'all put into the schools and all that, you know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules.
The entire Bible is about black people not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right.
Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
Want to say peace and blessings to you guys. Hope and pray all is well with you guys. Hope and pray that you guys had a great Shabbat. We had a great, an awesome time during our Shabbat service. Did a teaching, an extensive teaching on the Shekinah. Some would say Shekinah, while others would say Shekinah. You know, just pretty much exposing that whole doctrine. And so the past 2-3 months, we've really been focused on doing teachings based upon the Holy Spirit. And so that was a awesome discussion that we had earlier today, just really exposing that whole doctrine of the Shekinah or the Shekinah or the Shekinah, saying some of the different ways that you can pronounce it, but just really exposing that whole doctrine. So maybe I may do a lesson. I may even do it tomorrow, you know, do a simple lesson on that for some of you guys that may not be familiar with that whole doctrine, which actually is very, 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 very deceptive, and it has an influence on a lot of how people view the scripture, especially when it comes to the Holy Spirit or the Spirit of Yahweh. But nevertheless, hope and pray you guys had a great time. Let me go ahead and give some shout outs here before we get started here. Got a lot we're going to cover about that guy that you see inside this picture here. Let me stretch it out so you guys can see who I'm referring to. This guy, let me see here. This guy right here, his name is Rich Tidwell. And you may have seen some of my, saw a video clip of his that I posted with him dealing with the synagogue of Satan. And last week, he came up in my thread as he was doing a live. And I really want to deal with that. You know what I mean? It's sad when you have people that, you know, will go to such extremes. I'm not just saying him. So many people, you know, they quick to call out the 1948ers, but they still want to include themselves in the picture, you know, and we're going to deal with that here in a second. So before we get into it, let's go and give some shout outs. And matter of fact, before we give some shout outs, I want to say we are preparing for Tabernacles, which is coming up in October. I'll give you guys the exact dates. Anyone interested in being part of our feast days, shoot me an email. My email is Richardson_Kelly at, actually, matter of fact, I'll give you my Gmail one. We are woke now because the one I was getting ready to give you guys, that one stays flooded with spam. So I'll give you this email. I'll drop it inside the chat. Let me see here. All right. So I want to drop that email. So if you're interested in, like I said, celebrating feast days with us, feel free. We'll, you know, and this year we'll be staying on a campground. Normally we do that, stay on the campground, but we're going to stay on the campground. Already have it reserved. So if you're really interested in honoring feast days with us coming up in October, feel free to shoot me an email offline. All right. But let's give some shout outs and we'll get into lesson here, or should we say the playbook. And I may have to bring up his video, because I really, I was trying to get some clips, extract some clips from his lesson. And I'm gonna tell you, family, it was just, I didn't have time to do it. I got one clip from it, but he was all over the place. All over the place. And again, anything and anyone but the Negroes. All right. So let's go to get started here. Let me give some shout outs here. Let me scroll all the way up here because they're starting to pick up a little bit. All right. I want to start off by saying peace and blessings to Parzival. Excuse me if I mispronounce your name. Parzival. Shout outs to you. Let's see here. This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. It describes Canaan, the Canaanites witnessing the funeral procession for Jacob, Israel, according to the Bible. The Egyptians were black. Yeah, we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with that because one of the clip that I was able to extract from his video that he was doing, right? He touches on that, and I'm going to use that to kind of as an anchor to debunk this terrible information that not just him but others, they're quick to say that these 1948ers are the synagogue of Satan, that they are not the people of the book, but they'll always work it around to make sure that they'll say things like they were olive, or he didn't say olive. He made it clear that these people are that the Israelites are white people, so to speak, Caucasian. So we'll deal with that. All right. So shout outs to you. Shout outs to Elder holding it down in California. Really appreciate you. Hope and pray that you had a great Shabbat. Marcia Hamilton, want to say peace and blessings to you. Hope you holding it. Had a great Shabbat. And I hope you were able to get your praise on and really honor it according to how the Most High, how and what the Most High expects us to do. He set the barometer, but hope and pray you had a great Shabbat. Sardina Rice, want to say peace and blessings to you. Let's see here. Thank you for the love and support. Really appreciate you. Who else here? Hadassah, want to say peace and blessings to you as well. Let's see. End focus to see. Shalom to you as well. Hope and pray all is well with you. Daily repentance, peace and blessings to you. Hope and pray all is well with you. Shalom to you. Let's see here. It's Ty in the building. Want to say peace and blessings to you, Ty. All right. Hope and pray all is well with you. And give me a holler tomorrow. Just to touch bases. Check in. Want to make sure you're good. All right. Let's see here. Who else do we have here? Peace and blessings to. Let me see now. There we go. Brother Ivan, want to say peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well with you. Let's see here. End of days. Want to say peace and blessings to you. Let's see who else. Let's go down here. Trying to see who we have in the building. All right, let's see another one here. A lady, want to say good evening to you. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? All right. I see a few here, but it's just this chat is, StreamYard is not being as responsive as it should. So Kimmy, want to say shalom to you. Hope and pray all is well with you. Praise Yah. Want to say peace and blessings as well to you. Really appreciate you. Appreciate the love and support. Let's scroll down here. Let's get a few more in. Gail Copeland, want to say peace and blessings to you. Hope and pray all is well with you. Milton Miller, brother Milton Miller, want to say Shabbat Shalom to you as well. Hope and pray you had a great Shabbat. Let's see here. Already have you. Praise Yah. I want to say peace and blessings to you again. Let's see who else do we have here. Yah Ashaya, I want to say peace and blessings to you. I want to say shalom to you. And guys, be on the lookout for my book. I am right there now. Is going through the polishing phase of the book, and should be finished with that pretty soon. And then I'll start laying down the audio version of the book. And then the next step is get it out to you guys. All right. Make it available to you guys. All right. So again, shalom to you again, my brother. Who else do we have here? All right. To know and to be known. Want to say shalom to you as well. All right. Let's see here. Any more that I can get here? Pride of Judah. Shout outs to you. All right. Let's see here. A couple more and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. All right. Let's see here. And excuse me if I mispronounce your name. I think it's Nito Swain. So hope and pray all is well with you. And forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Like the old school would say, charge it to my head and not to my heart. But peace and blessings to you. Hope and pray all is well with you. Let's see here. All right. All right. One last one. Let's see here. Tone in Babylon, Bay Area, Cali, checking in. I want to say peace and blessings to you. We'll be visiting the Bay Area again over the next month or two. Really appreciate you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Shout outs to Berean Scholar. I see you here in the building. See some of you other guys are here, but as we progress, we will, I'll give some additional shout outs. So let's go ahead and get started here. And Berean Scholar, I'll drop the link once I get the plane up off the ground. All right. So family, let's deal with this guy right here. I mean, this guy, let me see if I put the clip at the beginning here. If not, I'll create a special. Yeah. Let me put the clip at the beginning here. These guys. Anyway, let me let you hear some of the just the craziness. But I want you guys to save this too. All right. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and unmute it. And let me know if you guys can hear this. All right. And his name is Rich Tidwell. I'm not sure if he's a pastor or not, but again, I posted one of his videos dealing with the synagogue of Satan. And for some of you guys that may not know, I post a lot of videos dealing with the synagogue of Satan. And the reason why I post those videos, whether I agree or disagree with some of their logic, is to show and give you guys ammunition, because at one time, the church, the Christian apologists in those spaces were literally saying that the Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 is something that is and they try to lump us under that label, Black Hebrew Israelites. They try to say that that's a Hebrew Israelite doctrine, but you guys already know. I mean, I got tons of different sources, starting with pastors that are actually saying and referring to these guys as being the synagogue of Satan. Like these two evangelist pastors right here.
So when he's saying he's coming to redeem, he would say, redeem Israel, oh God, out of all their troubles. First thing they need to be redeemed at, more dangerous than Hamas, more dangerous than Muslim neighbors are internal these, and there's another biblical name. They are Jews and are not. Jews and are not.
Ask you about that. Revelation 3:8. I think. I was going to ask you that question. Does that refer to this time, or can it refer to this time?
Revelation 3:9. Indeed, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. And there's another application for it. We understand this is really there's a practical storyline I've shared before on a program, maybe a year ago, about the Khazarian Mafia and the Khazarian Jews, and briefest understanding of it, and how this applies to them, because it's about 1,000 years ago. Really, this.
I'm gonna stop it right there. But they are evangelical pastors, right? And including this pastor right here. You know, you guys saw the clip in the intro, but this pastor.
The Khazarians, they are not at all. I want you to look it up and educate yourself and understand that the majority of the people that live in the modern day state of Israel are actually Europeans, and they do not practice anything from the Bible. The majority of them are absolutely atheist.
Right, and apologies. I know you guys probably heard some echo. I forgot to mute out the presentation, so my apologies, but I'm not going to play the video again. But you guys get the gist of it. Even Candace Owens, you know, she's been going in and referring to them as the synagogue of Satan. But, you know, let me play one more. I'll play her clip.
And here's what I would like to say to you, Rabbi, since you're quoting scripture, okay? The one that's relevant to me is woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking.
All right, so you heard her, even the judge here, this judge right here, listen to what he says. Now, he didn't call them synagogue of Satan, but he made it clear that they are not the people of the book.
Without getting too semantic, or at the risk of getting too semantic, does it matter that the Jews are not Semites, or does this phrase anti-Semitism just means hatred for the Jewish people? They're Ashkenazi, they're Eastern European Jews.
So what I'm going to do is, I know I've been uploading still continuously these type of videos. I have a playlist titled Synagogue of Satan. So you could go back into that playlist and you can see the number of videos that I have there. So I'm going to upload, well, actually, I know I have a number of videos that's not even in that playlist that is on this channel. So I'll make it a point before the weekend is out to all the videos that I have of different pastors using that or referring to the 1948ers as the synagogue of Satan. I'll have that inside there. So I post these videos for a reason. They're very strategic, you know, to knock down the arguments that, again, these Christian apologists, you know, these different groups that are out there that call themselves trying to debunk us and all that other stuff. But just to show that, you know, those other spaces, there's other spaces, and it's reached all the way up to the political platforms of them stating this. Even he's not the president of Syria anymore, but I have him referring to them as not being the real people, Khazars, and, you know, synagogue of Satan. So I have clips. So even Farrakhan, you know what I mean? So with that being said, you know, just want to play a clip from this guy, right? You know, you guys probably remember this clip before I play the clip that I want to play. But let me play this clip from him. This is the clip from a video that I have of his dealing with the synagogue of Satan. And even though he mentioned those guys as being the synagogue of Satan, he also referred to them as being Edomites. And I don't agree with that logic. You know, that's a flawed logic, which I proved that they are not, and how that whole doctrine of that Esau doctrine was created. But anyway, but let me play a clip of his.
And my hope is in this sermon that you and other Christians will come to understand that the people reigning in Jerusalem today are the same ones reigning during Jesus' first coming. They are the Edomites that say they are Jews and are not, but lie. On X, no one is discussing who the synagogue of Satan is from Revelation chapter 2 and 3. No one's discussing who this group is. Now you'll notice that we're not allowed to.
Give me 1 second. I forgot to hit oh, did I have it unmuted? Did you guys hear that? Let me make sure, because it's been acting up. Did you guys hear that? If you heard the video, if the video did play for you guys, type 1. All right, because I know I'm having some technical issues here. So it did play. Okay. All right, cool. But you get the gist of it, right? And he referred to them as being Edomites, right? So this is another clip. Let me unmute this video here, or my PowerPoint presentation, because this is the video clip I want to play. And this is going to be the clip that we're going to use to debunk this guy. And yes, when he did this live or premiered his video, yes, when it came up in my feeds, I purposely asked to have a discussion with him. And I tagged him in this live because I can knock down everything that he stated. Everything that he stated. And you're going to see the playbook here. The habit of guys like this, when they call themselves teaching scripture, they don't go they don't go into the keywords or anything like that. They do that whole European westernized approach to the text, right? And so we're going to deal with that. But let's go and get into it, family. Let's go and get into it. Let's continue here. Let me play this clip for you guys and let me know if you guys can hear it.
So the Irish, yes, can be part of the genetic pool for Israel that we can consider, and we will. Not Egyptians. That's nonsense. Now, late Egypt, like Nefertiti, right, started to see lighter skin colors because they're a city of trade and everybody's mixing and all of that. Ancient Egypt, you go look at their own artwork. They're black and brown, 100%. Ancient Egypt. So no, Irish people are not Egyptians.
All right. So you heard him say that the Egyptians are brown and black, even though he alluded to, as he stated during the time of Nefertiti, that the Egyptians became lighter, right? Did you guys hear that? If you guys heard that, type 1. Want to make sure that I'm not taking his words out of context, and I'll play it again if need be. All right. Did you guys hear that? Yeah, I had to put the background music in it because it's you know, and I'm not saying him, and I'm not trying to call him names, but the doctrine is a clown show. The information is a clown show. So, you know, I had to put the music in there to kind of make humor and make light of it. All right. But that's what he teach. This is what this guy teach. And it's flawed. So what I'm going to do is, right, I'm going to bring up, let me go ahead and bring up his video. Let me do it right now. The video that he was teaching out of, and I think I have some of his quotes inside this presentation. But matter of fact, when I get there, I'll just go ahead and play it. I mean, just bring the actual video up of his. So we'll do a response. This is just a response, a reaction video to what he's his teaching, him and another guy. So let's start with the Egyptians, right? You know, and what what gets me is when you see people push the different ways of how they push the Hermetic hypothesis. In other words, all Negroes come by way of Ham and slavery because of the curse of Ham, right? You know, that's the Hermetic hypothesis, and what they teach, right? As well, you know, they'll teach that Japheth is Caucasian. They also teach that Shem or Ham is Afro Thunder, and then they'll teach that Shem is kind of in between. Have you guys seen that? I think I actually captured. I was going to make a video clip off of it, but I didn't have time to do it. Let me show you this. You guys know what I'm talking about. This is the template. No matter how you see it, you're going to always see this template until they truly fess up and say that we are the people of the book, right? You're going to primarily see this template, right? And then you'll hear them insinuate like, hey, well, you know, I mean, there were some dark-skinned Israel, you know, you hear things like that, but they'll use the foundation of their premise, their baseline is that they're Caucasian, and that's what this guy did. All right, so let me see if I could play this, pull this video up real quick before we get into it. I went on and captured it. I was going to make a clip off of it, but didn't have time. So let me play this, right? This is the Jehovah's Witness video from 1997, right? And it's titled, He Walked with God. And this is their depiction of Noah and his sons. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and upload it into this video, into this PowerPoint, so that way I have more control of it here. Let me just pull it up here right now. All right. I'm just going to import it. All right, let's see here. Video capture. All right, so I'm going to back it up a little bit. Let me adjust this here for the, you guys know how I do here. I like to have my presentations a certain way, present a certain way. So let me clean this up a little bit. All right, there we go. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and show this video clip. Let me make sure I'm unmuted. All right, here we go, family. Peep this out. If it'll play. All right, let me try it again. All right, looks like it stopped playing here. Oh, there it is.
He said, I am going to wipe mankind from the face of the earth. Did this mean that nobody would be left on the earth? No. The Bible tells us that during this time of violence,
fair use,
at least one man obeyed God, Noah.
And guys,
This
try not to
God-fearing
laugh.
man and his wife
You're gonna
had
laugh
three sons.
when they show his sons.
Probably the firstborn was Japheth. The next son was Shem. Ham was the youngest.
I'm trying not to laugh, guys. I gotta pause. I gotta pause, man. This is funny, man. Oh man, this is so funny. Fair use, fair use. Let me.
These obedient
stop it,
sons
guys.
and their
Let me
faithful
stop.
wives.
Let me stop. All right, is that funny or what, family? Is that funny or what? And this is what they still teach. A people that is proven medically, DNA-wise, that they are the results, as far as when I say they, their complexion, their hair texture, everything are they are the results of the recessive gene, right? The recessive gene. The reason why they have the skin tone, the hair texture, all of that is because of the recessive gene. Right? And that's recessive gene, and it's documented, became prevalent across Europe about 4,000 years ago. So a recessive gene. Now, technically, biblically, that will be considered leprosy. Anything that's albinism will be, considered leprosy. Any issues with your skin, that would be considered leprosy. Did you guys know that? So their skin complexion, their hair texture is because of, the recessive gene. That in itself would eliminate them from being Israelites, being Levitical priests. But I know you got that. Was that funny to you guys? I know you guys had to laugh. I know you guys had to laugh. Am I the only one that laughed at that? Good thing I wasn't drinking. If I was drinking like some water or whatever, you probably would have heard. I probably would have had to switch my mic. I probably would have had to shut down the live because my mic would have been damaged. But that's part of that Hamitic hypothesis. That's the stuff that they want everyone to believe. And that's part of that Eurocentric nonsense. All right. So let's continue. What did the ancient Egyptians look like? Right. We want to deal with some of this, but remember this from iShowSpeed, the video clips I shared earlier. Remember this question that he asked here? Let me play this clip here.
The Sphinx. Wait, what happened to her nose?
Fair use.
What happened to her nose? Why is her nose cut off? Did it fall off, Chad?
Everyone ask me when you just come here why Sphinx is without nose. It's famous from Egypt and some countries. The history of man Makrizi from Islamic era, right inside his book and say, a man his name Sa'im al-Dahr do this. But why? Why Sa'im al-Dahr do this? Because he won't be proof.
Fair use.
For some people, it is just a statue, just stone, not God. For this, he just broke a nose and say he can protect himself. What he do? He just a stone.
Oh, so you're trying to prove that the statue is not a god?
Not a god.
So he broke the nose.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear that, right? So he said that the Sphinx nose got tore off because to prove that he's not a god, right? Fair use, all right? Reactionary video. Now let's hear another story he gets. He get another explanation when he goes into the museum.
Wait, I have a question. Why is his nose gone?
We have two reasons. The first one, because the erosion factors. This is the weakness point of the statue. Because the erosion factors, it's broke the nose. And maybe the second reason, because any king after this king.
Fair use.
Tried to broke his nose to be the strongest one.
Oh. So this is the ego thing, huh?
Yes. What do you think?
What do I think?
You hear that?
Am I Egyptian?
Come on, you hear that? You hear these excuses. The nose, the weakest point of the king, a king that precedes another king, basically desecrates the previous king statue. Come on, that's actually, she gave two excuses. So you heard three excuses, three complete lies, right? I don't have the video clips to debunk it like I normally would, but you guys know that these are lies, and we've proved that a number of times. All right, not getting into the specifics with that, but this guy right here.
I come from Egypt. Egypt has a very diverse color palette. People can look like me, or they can look deeper skin tone like Anwar Sadat, who comes from a Nubian origin. It's not about black and white. It's about the continuous culture appropriation and falsification of history that has been done by what the so-called Afrocentrist movement.
Right, so I thought I had to extend the video on here, but Dr. Surma completely debunked that. But this guy right here, and it made me so upset. And I've been meaning to do a video on it with Godfrey, the comedian. He has a show, and he had this guy on there, and this guy literally, I literally stated the lie of why the nose are missing. That same lie, he echoed the same lies, and Godfrey and those guys didn't hold his feet to the fire. They let him off the hook. But then when someone else came onto their platform, then all of a sudden they start, they pumping their chests out. It was garbage, man. But anyway, this giving you, an idea of how history continues to be rewritten. Anyone and anything but the Negroes. Now, this guy and many of these modern people that are occupying that area, now they're saying that, any one of us in any Negro period that says that it was Negroes that built the pyramids and all that stuff, culture appropriate. That's what he's saying. Come on, family. So did the Arabs actually build the pyramids? That's absolutely false. Are Negroes actually stealing the identity of so-called modern Egyptians? Absolutely not. Right? Listen. Now, this is Dr. Ivan van Sertima, and listen to what he says.
Listen carefully. Do not confuse modern Egypt with ancient Egypt. These are two totally different worlds. Here we are in America, and it would be very difficult to find an American in this room. We call ourselves Americans because we are in America. We are American citizens. But there are African people here, European people perhaps, Asian people, but no Americans. I am part American, I am part Makusi Indian and part African, but it would be difficult to find an American audience that is pure American. That's why Egypt, do you go to Egypt and you said the Arab is not an Egyptian? The people who built the pyramids were not Arabs. I know, man, because I am responsible for returning to the bloody Arabs the splinters of the Sphinx's nose and chin, and the Arabs do not want to remake it because it looks Negro. But we can go into the graves. We can go into the graves and we find the hard evidence. The skeletal evidence is overwhelming. But you see, Egypt was so rich. The Africans were so extraordinary. And they were not superior people. You don't have inferior and superior people. This is what makes you superior and inferior. A certain vision of the world. A certain vision of yourself. Many of us have been destroyed, reduced, because we've been made to accept other people's vision of us.
And you know, family, it's these Europeans, they are so crafty, family, that to explain the pyramids, to instead of conceding, making it clear that advanced civilizations lived in Africa, you know what I mean, like Egypt. You know, they don't want to deal with that. Sudan, which is also called foreign Judah, they don't want to talk about that, you know. Or when they make reference to the pyramids, they'll say stuff like, it was built from the top to the bottom, from top down. They'll insinuate that aliens helped assist with building the pyramids, right? Anything but the Negro. If they believe that it was themselves, right? They'll make it clear it was them. They'll say that they built it. They'll say, like many of them try to do. But when it comes to us, either it's an alien that, you know what I mean, or they hijack it. One way or the other. Either the alien's going to get credit for it or they're going to take the credit for it. All right? Let's see here. I'm not going to get into all of that. But again, let's go back to this Rich Tidwell. So he said in his clip, so the Irish, yes, can be part of the genetic pool for Israel. That, you know, because in that discussion, when the guy mentioned possibly them being connected to the Egyptians, but he knocked that down and said, no, you know, the Irish not connected to the Egyptians, but he said that the Irish, yes, can be part of the genetic pool for Israel. And see, in the video, he was trying to deal with DNA and dealing with the R, you know, and you guys already know R, that's Europeans, and try to connect that to the 1948ers, and then trying to connect that to Northeast Africa, which is a complete farce. E1b, that is the haplogroup of the oldest people, of the people, you know, in the Middle East. E was designated for that whole Northeast Africa area. Now, when you get into E1B1A versus E1B1B, it's the Hamitic people versus the Shemitic people, right? The Egyptians, right? E1B1B. Israel, right? E1B1A. That was the established haplogroup for that entire area, right? Before they started really doing another way of hijacking and changing the information around us, right? And that's what this clip that you guys see me play from time to time, you know, Genetic Eve, the movie that came out like 20 years ago, a documentary, you know, they make it clear. They reveal this information. So let me play this real quick. Where is it? Here it is.
Their bones were discovered in the Kafsay Cave near Nazareth in Galilee in 1933. 13 fragile skeletons, one a woman, a tiny baby at her feet. these bones were first uncovered, they were the oldest complete modern human skeletons ever found.
The numerous skeletons that have been found in caves in Israel at the sites of Kafse and Shkul show us that they...
So you get it, family. They found Negro bones, even though they say outside of Africa, because they still part of that programming that we rewiring, right? They want to hack into us to believe that that Israel, which is right there on the side of Egypt, pretty much, they want us to believe that area is the Middle East, right? The Middle East is separate from Northeast Africa. No, it sits on the same tectonic plate. That's all Northeast Africa. The term Middle East was created like 1903, 1906. All right. So, this the history they don't want to talk about. And I could easily shut down this guy and anyone else that want to come up with this whole nonsense that we've been hearing. Even with the DNA, I could knock down that whole DNA argument easily. But these are some of the arguments that you hear. So he says here, so yes, the Irish can be part of the genetic pool for Israel that we can consider, and we will, and we will, not Egyptians. That's nonsense. Now, late Egypt, like Nefertiti, right? He goes on to say, started to see lighter skin colors because they're a city of trade and everybody's mixing with that. Ancient Egypt, you go look at their own artwork, they're black and brown 100%. So make a note of that. He's making it clear that the ancient Egyptians are black and brown, and he says 100%. Okay? I'm not going to play this video again, but let's go to Exodus chapter 1, verse 11, verse 14. Chapter 1, verse 11 through 14, excuse me. So you guys know this passage, but it says, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and brick, and in all manner of service in the field of, and it goes on to say, all their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. All right. So this is a source here. And I hope Rich Tidwell, and I hope you watch this video, and I hope you can say something about this source here. Jewish civilization, picture of Jewish civilization by Bazal El Narkis. Hope I didn't butcher the name, but this is a picture history of Jewish civilization. We're using that word just for the sake of conversation. Page 9. Look at what it says here. The ancestors of the ancient Hebrews were Semitic nomads, wandering across the sun-baked plains or the upper Euphrates in the vicinity of Haran in search of grazing lands and water. But they were not alone. Other people seeking similar means of substance, as well as other men who lived by the sword, forced them farther and fan her away from their original terrain and what is now north central Syria. The relentless struggle for survival in the land of the two rivers, Mesopotamia, the land of the two rivers, Mesopotamia, thrust them far to the south. Eventually, they came in sight of the great city of Ur of the Chaldees, 550 miles southeast of Haran. Right now, let's highlight some of the imagery here. Now, tell me, family. Now remember, these are ancient Israelites. Now tell me if these ancient Israelites, tell me if they look Caucasian to you. What do you think, guys? Do they look like Caucasians to you? Or do they look like, from an anthropological term, from that angle, they'll say Negroid infinity? Do they look like they are of Negroid infinity? Remember, this entire book is about the pictures of the ancient Israelites. Okay. All right. All right. All right. The thousands of war captives who were transformed into slaves made it possible for the Egyptian king to implement their feats of engineering. Chained captives are shown on these painted clay facing plaques from a building erected by Ramses II in honor of the king's brave warriors from the period of the 14th, no, actually, that's the 19th dynasty. All right. So the upper row, this is referring to these images, the captions under it. The upper row of the painting from the tomb of Nut at Thebes shows workmen gathering and pressing grapes. Now we're going to get to that. The wine was stored in tapered jugs, which bore inscriptions indicating the year, kind of wine, vineyard, proprietor of the vineyard, and the vine dresser. So you'll see that here. That's what this is referring to, what you see down here. You see the grapes. Let me zoom it in so you guys, because matter of fact, did I zoom that? Let me see if I zoomed that image in. I didn't, but let me zoom it in. All right. Now I'm going here for a reason, family, because it's so easy to debunk what he just said, right? What we just read from him, but we're going to debunk it real quick. It's pretty easy, but I want to walk you guys through. All right. Opposite model of a granary, taxes were paid in produce, and the wheat collected in this way was stored in state granaries scattered throughout Egypt. At the right, the taskmaster, stick in hand, stands over the people to supervise their work. At the lower right, a clerk records the numbers of sacks of wheat being stored in the granary. So that's what this is referring to, this right here. You see the taskmaster right here? You see the clerk right here? Now, family, I'm going to zoom this in. Now, tell me, right? These are Israelites. Do they look like they're Caucasian to you, family? Do they look Caucasian to you? Or do they look like the Egyptians? If they look like the Egyptians, type 1. Or if they look like, if they look like, how can I put it? If they look like they related to Netanyahu, type 2. If they look like the 1948ers, type 2. If they look like they're olive or green or Arabic, those some of the things that we hear. Tell me if you see that. You can type 2 if they look that way, but if they look just like the Egyptians, type 1. Family, it's so easy to knock down this foolishness that we see these guys, trying to hijack the identity. This is why when I hear stuff like this, it proves the scriptures when it makes it clear that the Most High spoke to no one else but Judah. He didn't speak to no other nation. So not these these European nations. He did not speak to any of them. He did not speak to these current pastors and leaders that are in these spaces. He did not speak to them. He did not speak to their ancestor, because if he did speak to them, they would be teaching the truth. All right, family, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's go to another. Let's flip the script here. Actually, do I want to deal with it? No, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to give you another source. Let's go. Let's flip this over. Right. We clearly see. Let's share this image here. This is a close up. Right. Model of a bakery. Bread was a staple in Egypt. There were bakeries in which one man milled the flour, another kneaded, and a third brought the bread to the oven. The entire operation was directed by the man sitting in the rear. Right? The man sitting in the rear. That's the one that's directing it. Right? Let me zoom it in. And tell me if these guys look like they're European. Tell me if these guys look like they are Arabic type people, or a olive type people, or a European type people. What do you think, guys? What do you think? These are Israelites. Right? What do you think, guys? I'm gonna give some shout outs, some additional shout outs. So if you believe that these guys look like Israelites, look like us, right? You see the hair, right? And you know we come in different shades of brown. Come on, family. And if they want to bring up the Chaldees, I do have a source stating that the Chaldees were Negroes. Because, you know, they'll say, well, you know, Abraham, Mesopotamia, Chaldees, they try to move it further away from Africa, which gone through a number of different names like Akibulan and all that. But I do have a source that says that Abraham, or not Abraham, but the Chaldees are Negroes. Anyway, let's see who how you guys responded here. If these guys don't look, if they look like they look like the Egyptians, type 1, right? Or if they don't look like the Egyptians, type 2. If you feel like they look like the 1948ers, type 2. If you think that they look like the Arabs, if you think that they look like they're olive, type 2. That'd be a catch for all those that think that they don't look like, in the anthropological term, Negroid affinity. All right, let's see here. Let's give a couple of shout outs real quick. In focus to see, say, look like Negroes, look like Egyptians. Kimmy, Egyptians. Thai, Egyptians. Protected by Yah, Egyptians. No, and to be known, Egyptians. Let's see here. Shout outs to no wait, please don't. Shout outs to you, my brother, holding it down in the chat. Hadassah, Sister Hadassah said 1. So far, it looks like it's unanimous. Philip Leak in total agreement. Our elder in the building holding things down in California agree. Look like Egyptians, son of Judah, agree. Let's see a few more. Right? Lap DS, I'm not going to Lap Deswat. I'm not going to butcher it. My apologies, but 1. All right, let's see here. All right. Look like I see Jabbar 1, CC 1. Let's see a couple more. Yehuda 1, Mr. The Original 1, Tracy Bot Zion 1. So far, it looks like it's unanimous. I haven't seen anyone say that they look like they're Europeans or look like they're Arabic or olive. Let's see, David Israel 1. Sterling Cray 1. All right. So far, family, I haven't seen any of you guys say that they look like they're not, or look like Europeans. Next time I'll put the I'll put a a poll up so that way we can really get an accurate number. All right. But let me drop this link here. All right. So let's continue here, family. These are sources that they would never show over here in this country. This is the British Museum. This is overseas. They won't show this here because then we have a problem. All right. All right. All right. So let's continue on. He says something about Nefertiti, right? Remember what he said here. You go look at their own artwork. They're black and brown, but he makes a point about Nefertiti. Let's see where he says it here. Right. He says, like Nefertiti, started to see lighter skin color because they're a city of trade and everybody's mixing with that. See, that's not how they roll. That's not how cultures roll. Right. Of course, we know Egypt was conquered by the Romans. But that's not how cultures roll. See, they want to make it seem like, hey, you know what? The Egyptians, all of the cultures, they was mixing and meshing. That's not how cultures roll, ancient cultures. You don't see the Chaldeans doing that. You don't see the Egyptians doing that. You don't see the Israelites doing that. Of course, you have some that have mixed, but not the entire country, not the entire bloodline mixed and meshed with other communities. That's that European colonized mindset that they try to project on to these different spaces. Have you guys noticed that, family? They quick with saying that, you know, they mixed and meshed. All right, let's keep it going, family. Let's keep it going. So, are there any Israelites mistaken for Egyptians? Y'all know this is my favorite picture. I had to clean it up, right? I had to do a little AI to it to make the picture clearer, right? So this is who they want you to believe. They want you to believe that the Israelites look like this. But let's go ahead and break this down. Joseph passed for an Egyptian. Come on, Tidwell. Come on, family. We could knock this down. Joseph was mistaken for an Egyptian. Genesis chapter 42, verse 6 through 8. Look at what it says. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he was sold to all the people in the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them. But he made himself stranger to them and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not. They couldn't recognize him because he looked like an Egyptian. He looked like he was, I don't even like using the word Egyptian, right? It'd be Hamat, right? You hear the transliteration of it, Kemet, but in ancient, right? It's not, it's a, so to be Kamat, just like Ham's name is Ham. All right. So I don't even like to use the word Egyptian because when we use these certain descriptors, it still gives the colonizers access, still keeps them at the center of the conversation. All right. Let me bring Berean Scholar in here. I see him in the back here as we continue on here. Shout out,
brother.
Shout out to Steve, my brother.
Brother, I tell you, you are hitting it tonight because they try to promote this falsehood again and again and again. Man, this is just egregious.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know how we do whenever you want to chime in, you know how we do. And that's why, like, when I saw that guy do that video, I even tried to ask him to have a discussion with me, bring me on the live, have me included in one of their discussions, right? Because I would knock down all that stuff.
But that's the main part. That's the main part of propaganda. We put out the falsehood again and again so people hear it. We don't want to debate it. We just want to put it out.
Exactly. And before I continue, I see a couple of super chats here. Let me give some shout outs here. I want to say shout outs to Sandina Rice. Want to say Peace and blessings to you. Thank you. Smoking in the kitchen. That's right. We cooking here, right? we got the greens going. We got the mac and cheese in the oven.
Come on now.
We got it going. And matter of fact, before we get the greens going, we had to smoke the turkey, right? So we could throw it inside the greens. So give it that smoke taste.
You can put your foot in it.
That's right. All right. And let's see here. Shout outs to Yahuda, Sally. Thank you for the love and support. All praises. Yahweh, Yah be with you, brother. Thank you for the love and support. Thank you. I really appreciate it because you've been supporting us for quite some time. And thank you for the love and support. And thank you for the words of encouragement. And family, let's show our brothers and sisters here love and support for just supporting what we do, because YouTube is doing everything they can to suppress. And I'm telling you, they before they took that metrics down, I was able to see how many subscribers they deleted from We Woke Now since it's been here. Did I show you the screen print a while ago, Berean Scholar?
Yes, you did.
Am I right? They deleted over 25,000 subscribers since the channel been up.
They are trying to discourage people like Pastor Wisdom, We Woke Now, and myself and the other channels from putting out the truth. They're doing everything they can to stop it.
Absolutely. And family, I still have the screenshots. So if I have time, I'll put the screenshot in one of the slides and let you see. 25,000 since the beginning of this channel. But the resilience of our ancestors, the more they oppressed us, the more we grew.
Hallelujah.
Amen. But thank you again, family. Let's show some love to Yahuda, Sally, and also Sandina. Let's show some love for both of them for their contributions tonight. Appreciate you guys. All praises to the Most High. All right. So Moses passed for an Egyptian. Moses passed for an Egyptian, family. Exodus chapter 2, verse 9 through 10. Of 9 and 10. Look at how it reads. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, in other words, Masha. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. And this is important, family, because Moses was not a bloodline Egyptian. So he could not take on the title of the Egyptian, because when you see Moses, that's saying the son of or Tet Moses, son of Tha Moses, rather, son of Tet or Tha. Right. So you'll see Moses, or Masha is the ancient pronunciation. You'll see that that's pretty much like the names of the pharaohs, right? Different pharaohs in different dynasties. So Moses couldn't take on those names because he was not an Egyptian. He was not out of that household. He was not out of that bloodline. So what Pharaoh's daughter did, she changed the meaning of his name. Instead of meaning the son of, basically Masha, because she took him out of the water. Not what they'll teach you, right? Because they'll teach you that when you see, they won't even connect Mashayak or Mashak. They won't connect those to Moses. Moses' name is actually the primitive root to Mashak or Mashayak. You go all the way down to what? Masha, because she said it means what? She drew him out of the water. Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion here. So as you see here, the primitive root, look at what it says, Moses, Masha. That's Moses' original name. His true ancient Hebrew name is Masha, not Moshe, right? Look at here in the background, right? Look at what it says here. I'm gonna zoom it in, family. Look at how these transliterations point you to the primitive root. It says Moshe from 487. Now, when we go to 487, look at what it says here. Look at how it's pronounced. A primitive root, right, means to pull out, draw out, and it says Masha. So I'm not making Moses' name up, family. That is actually the proper pronunciation of Moses' name, because they didn't have vowel points. They didn't have these vowel letters, and no, it was everything was an sound. The ayan made an sound. All right, so you see here it says what? Primitive root. Am I right, Berean Scholar? Does it say primitive root? Primitive root on your screen?
All day, every day, 24/7.
So the primitive root is the original. Not an afterthought. So Moses' actual ancient name is Masha. All right. All right, let's continue. Now I could get into this with the Near East studies of Moses' name. And this really would explain what I explained to you guys about Moses. As you see here, he that is born of him, you see Ra, Masha, right? He that is born of him. Right, just what I explained here. As you see here, Tut Moses, son of Tha, Ramses, son of Ra, Moses, son of But Moses could not say that he was part of these lineages. So it says in Moses' case, it simply means son or born. But we see in the holy text, she changed his name to what? Being drawn out of the water, as far as the meaning of it. All right. All right, this dealing with the 18th dynasty, Moses, just giving some additional information about him conquering his Hyksos. Not going to get into all of this, but this is the 18th dynasty here. Even though Moses was not the Exodus per se did not occur during the 18th dynasty. It was actually the 13th dynasty. All right, that's a whole nother discussion. But when we go to the 18th dynasty, you'll see these wigs, right? They don't want to tell you about these wigs. Don't look like Bo Derek to me. What do you think, Berean Scholar? Does that look like Bo Derek?
Not like Bo Derek, or Elizabeth Taylor, or Charleston Heston, none of them.
And these are displayed over at the British Museum. Now, the reason why you see these look like they have highlights is because of the chemicals, from that the Egyptians used to preserve the body, so to speak. But look at these braids. All right, I'll show you another image. Right, I'll just share a little bit of this. I'm not going to play the audio, but you see here, this is in the British Museum. Oh, I thought I had it there. I guess I don't have the audio. I thought I could play that. All right. If not, we'll keep it moving. Let me see if I could play it. All right. All right. Guess I can't. It's acting up here. Yeah, I can't play it, family, but it's all good. We're going to say, just for the sake of time, we would keep it moving, but, I'll see if I can drop a link. All right. Here's some additional images here. Now, again, the reason why you see the hair straight here is because of, again, the chemicals, right? But as you can see, the tips of it is still locked. All right. And these wigs date back to the 18th dynasty. Then you have Aristotle. Look what Aristotle, this is quotes from Aristotle, as far as this particular quote. Those who are too black are cowards for a coward-like. For instance, the Egyptians and Ethiopians, but those who are excessively white are also cowards, as we can see from the example of women. So he's making it clear, even though this is him throwing insults, but it makes it clear that the Egyptians, the Ethiopians are depicted as being black, right? Being dark melanated people, right? Apollodorus affirms that Egyptos conquered the country of the black-footed ones and called it Egypt after himself. Herodotus, several Egyptians, and this is 450 BCE, several Egyptians told me that in their opinion that the Colchidians were descendants from soldiers of Sesostris. I had conjectured as much myself from 2 pointers. Firstly, because they have black skin and kinky hair. Doesn't sound like Caucasians to me, family. So if, one of the things we tend to hear, right, that complexion doesn't matter, right? When you start bringing out facts like this, the playbook is you'll start hearing this chant here. This is why when I heard it so much, I was like, you know what? That made me, that reminded me of an old movie, camp movie called Meatballs. Right? So when I start hearing it just doesn't matter, because long as we know that the color of the blood is red, y'all know what I'm talking about, but this is what they want you to believe.
It just doesn't matter. 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 It just doesn't matter.
That's what they want you to believe, family. They want you to respond to the information like this guy right here, because I do have a video here. I thought I took it down, but like this guy right here.
It does not matter what color Jesus was. What matters is that he came to the earth, lived a perfect life, died a death for the sins of the world, and then conquered the grave, proving that he is the Son of God. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
It just doesn't matter. 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 It just doesn't matter.
And I'm pretty confident if I had a conversation with that guy, this rich title or Tidewell, I can guarantee you that will come out his mouth.
Yep.
Any comments, Berean scholar?
Exact words that were spoken to me in college when I was discovering some of the things that the scripture told us about the phenotypes of our people. And I said, wait a minute, this says that they were blackened unto the ground. So are we talking about black people since where this was written? And I was instructed by my professor that it did not matter but color. In fact, that is how you get into false doctrines. This is long before the awakening. This is long before the awakening. So they have perfect this propaganda to the point that we are all steeped in it.
Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. So if skin complexion doesn't matter, why did Yahweh use it as a sign with Moses? If skin complexion doesn't matter, family, why did Yahweh use it as a sign for Moses to prove that Yahweh exists? All right, let's go here. Let's go here. I'm gonna fast forward here. Exodus chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. And Moses answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, Yahweh hath not appeared unto thee. And Yahweh said unto him, what is that in thine hand? And he said, a rod. Right? So he had his rod, right? But I could break down the rod because that rod represents his identity. If you guys understand a shepherd, right? Their staff, their ring, that was all part of their identity. That was like walking around with a driver's license. That was their own identification, right? Lamad, right? I'm just fast forwarding here. Staff, disciple to learn. Numerical value is 30. And you see it looks like a staff, right? All right. But let's go to verse 6 to 8, because I want to get to the complexion. And Yahweh said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. Wait a minute. How is this a miracle if the Israelites, if Moses was Caucasian?
Come on.
If he already had no pigmentation in his skin, what is the miracle? Help me out. Am I missing something? It says, behold, his hand was leprous. Yad or yada is the ancient Hebrew word for hand. It was leprous. Sarah or sara'ah as snow, right? Shalak. All right. So white as snow, shalak. It didn't say it was snow, but it said is what? His complexion became what? Non-pigmented, lost his pigmentation. So they are trying to tell you that he went from Caucasian to Caucasian in terms of his skin complexion. That makes absolutely no sense. What do you think, Berean Scott? That makes no sense.
It makes no sense whatsoever. And I thought it was funny that on both movies, they forgot when they were showing the miracles, they left that one out.
They left that out. So verse 7, family. And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. But he gave them also a judgment if they rejected the sign, that judgment was coming. So there's judgment coming for everyone that's denying us. Now, this is what they want you to believe. Let me zoom in. This is what they want you to believe. Moses in Egypt. Joseph in Egypt. Have a good night, Daily Repentance. But this is what they want you to believe.
I love the faces of the three brothers at the top left-hand corner.
Come on, fam. This is how we should be looking when they try to paint this picture to us. The second, like I said, the second sign for the non-believing Israelites is Moses' skin complexion. But again, let's go to another person here. Apostle Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. Am I right?
That's correct.
So, family, Acts chapter 21, verse 37 and 38. And Paul, and as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said, canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days made an uproar and led us out into the wilderness, 4,000 men that were murderers? So Paul was mistaken not just for an Egyptian, but an Egyptian rebel who led an insurrection. Josephus make mention of this insurrection that Paul got mistaken with leading. Claudius concluded that Paul was the Egyptian terrorist who had led thousands up the Mount of Olives just 3 years earlier. Insurrections happen all the time during the watch of Felix. Why would the commander pick out this particular character to associate with Paul? Josephus, as I pointed out, records this event from the Antiquity of the Israelites. I don't even like to use that word there, but the Antiquity of the Israelites, book 20, chapter 8. Look at what it says here. These works that were done by the robbers filled the city with all sorts of impiety. And now these impostors and deceivers persuaded the multitude to follow them into the wilderness and pretended that they would exhibit manifest wonders and signs that should be performed by the providence of God. And many that were prevailed on by them suffered the punishment of their folly. For Felix brought them back and then punished them. Moreover, there came out of Egypt about this time to Jerusalem one that said he was a prophet, and advised the multitude of the common people to go along with him to the Mount of Olives. Right? So you see what's going on here. This is who Paul got mistaken for. It goes on to say, he said farther that he would show them from thence how at his command the walls of Jerusalem will fall down, and he promised them that he would procure them an entrance into the city through the walls when they were fallen down. Now, when Felix was informed of these things, he ordered the soldiers to take their weapons and came against them with a great number of horsemen and footmen from Jerusalem and attacked the Egyptian. And the people that were with him, he also slew 400 of them and took 200 alive. But the Egyptian himself escaped out of the fight, but did not appear anymore. So he went missing. So the Roman soldier thought that that Egyptian was Apostle Paul, because Apostle Paul was drawing a lot of attention to himself. So we have the primary source, which is the scriptures, but we have a secondary source is coming from an Israelite who gave an account of this individual that Apostle Paul is being mistaken for. All right. Berean Scholar, sound like you were going to say something?
Yeah, and if you read the scripture, Apostle Paul on 3 different occasions made sure he announced who he was. As I am an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin, I am a Hebrew of Hebrews, and because he traveled extensively, and I don't remember any time myself when I'm traveling in around this country when I'm with people who love me that I had to tell them, well, I am a black man from Jackson, Mississippi.
Well, even among the Israelites, they didn't greet themselves like that. That's what people try to. Well, how come they don't make it clear that they're black among each other?
They didn't have to.
That's what I'm saying. That's like me coming to you. Hey, what's up, Berean Scott? What's up, my brother? Hey, I'm black.
But he had to announce, I am an Israelite. I am
exactly
because there were other people who had the same skin tone who was not.
Exactly. But the key, the point that I'm making though is there, how they would try to use. Many apologists would say, well, how come the Israelites not calling themselves black? I done heard every type of excuse. And I want to say this, Yahushua was not a Palestinian. I see a comment in the section, no, he was not a Palestinian. The Romans created and renamed Judea Palestine with the purpose of completely removing the Israelites from that area. So no, the Palestinians, they are not Israelites, right? The Palestinians are not Israelites. I'm going to say that clear. And when you say ancient Levantine populations, the word Levant is not an ancient word. The word Levant is a 16th century word that the Europeans used to as part of the agenda to remove the territory, that area out of Northeast Africa, because they call it the Levant. They also call it the Middle East. Those are different terms that they come up with. So I want to make it clear. I'm not arguing against you. I'm making it clear. I see a response. So I'm responding to the response. So when you say Levant, when you say that Yahushua was a Palestinian, that's incorrect. He was not a Palestinian. He was an Israelite out of the tribe of Judah.
And that's another misnomer too, because the people who are currently in the land today are people who migrated to that land.
Exactly. And when you start understanding them, go ahead, Berean Scott. I thought you.
Now there are remnants of people that like Yemenites and all that are there, but the majority of the people there migrated to that land.
And you see the number of invasions from the Ottoman invasion, as far as the Arabs. They're not when I say the Arabs, there's a difference between the ancient Arabs versus the Arabs of the Ottoman Empire. They, two different people, two different groups, right? But you had the multiple invasions of the Ottoman Empire, the Turkic invasions. You had the Arab invasions. It's a number of invasions that they were subjected to. They are not the original people. All right. So look here. Joseph, Miriam, and the Messiah successfully hid in Egypt. Yeah, family, they successfully hid in Egypt. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13 through 15. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of Yahweh appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt. And be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. And he arose and took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Yahweh by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. There it is, right? So they want you to believe that's how baby father Jesus was hiding in Egypt. He was among the children. That's baby father Jesus. That's how they want you to believe that he hid and he blended among the children in Egypt.
And they never knew he was there.
Come on, family. Come on, family. Come on, family. That's what they want you to believe. And unfortunately, many of us believe it.
Oh, yes. It's been engraved deep in our psyche.
So remember, it said it was fulfilling the prophecy, right? Out of Egypt. What prophecies are being fulfilled? Numbers 24, verse 8. Look at this here, family. Elohim brought him forth out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of an unicorn. And he shall eat up the nations of his enemies and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows. All right. Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Adonai Yah was crucified. So I could get into the Scythians, like the point that I want to make too. The Scythians, which are connected to the Khazarians, which is they connected to Gog, Magog, Meshach, Japheth, all of those guys. The Scythians is the glue to those people. But I can tell you that the Scythians were not enslaved in Egypt. I can knock all that down with this source I'm going to share with you, right? So that's why I asked the question, were the Scythians ever enslaved in Egypt? No. Were the Khazarians ever enslaved in Egypt? No. Were the Ashkenazis ever enslaved in Egypt? No, because they're the same people.
Come on.
Now I could get into the out of Khazaria evidence. This is from Aaron Elhake. I can read all of this, and he's making it clear that the modern day people are connected to the Turks, right? This is where he says, primarily the children of a Turkish people who lived in what is now Russia, north of Georgia, east of Ukraine. The civilization of the Khazars converted from tribal religions to Judaism between the 7th and 9th century. But I also want to give a point that what he made here about the Levant. Let me fast forward here, right? And I want you guys to see how he make reference to the Levant. Let me go here. It says here, his second question centered on ancestry when comparing Jewish communities to their non-Jewish neighbors, Caucasus, right? Or Levant. And look at what it has in parentheses, Middle East. So I'm here to tell you, family, the Levant is Northeast Africa. It's synonymous to the Middle East. They're not separate territories. That's the point I want to really bring out here. That's why I want to really hone in on this part right here. The family, we got to let these names go. That's adding more confusion, and that's keeping basically keeping their hand inside history and have us continually promote their history and continue to push their lies. All right. All right. And look at what it says here. It says here, his second question centered on ancestry when comparing Jewish communities to their non-Jewish neighbors, Caucasus or Levant populations, which is closest to the Jews. All Eurasian Jewish communities are closer to Caucasian communities. He writes, with Central European Jews closer to Italian non-communities as the exception. But look at here. Not one of the 8 evaluated Jewish populations were closer to Levant populations, saying that they did not have no connection to Northeast Africa. See, wording is important, family, because if you just focus on the Levant and you don't make that African connection, you see how they have a way of escape. No, we're not giving them any way of escape because the Levant is Northeast Africa. It is synonymous to the Middle East.
And for those who might be new to the channel, who is Aaron Aher, Pastor?
Oh, he's a Jewish geneticist, and this is his work from Genome Biology with Johns Hopkins. He's a world-renowned geneticist.
World-renowned. He's talking about his own people, and he did this research because he was concerned about the diseases and the cases that they were having. He was trying to do it for their health. So this is what he found. Thank you, Pastor.
Exactly. And to that point, this is the quote. I believe it's right. I thought I had it in there, but I think I took it out. But to your point, this source, he explains that as well, family, just to his Berean scholar's point. Because of the sicknesses, he was trying to get to the root of what's causing the sicknesses, because they have the average sicknesses in other communities is escalated, it's amplified in their communities. Actually, I have a book here. Do I have it on my desk? I think I have it on my other shelf. You know, I'm not going to get up. I'm kind of lazy right now. Actually, no, it's right here.
Well, the reason I said that, Pastor, because most people, especially for the new ones who might just hear it for the first time, this is significant because it's a person from his own community trying to help his community find out the truth about his origin of his community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You hit it right on the nail. And let me just pull this book up real quick, family. This is the book right here. All right. This is the book right here.
Take it over towards the mic. Take it over towards the mic. We didn't see it at that time. There you go. Now we can see it.
All right. I know it's backwards. My camera looks like it's backwards.
It's upside down. Upside down.
Upside down. All right. Let me see it here.
There you go. Genetic disorders among the Jewish people, Johns Hopkins.
All right. So, yeah, family, you know, so much information that's right in our face. So let's continue, family. Let's continue. I'm not going to get into the who is Magog and all that stuff for the sake of time. I'm going to skip down and I'm going to bring up his video clip. So you guys, I want you guys to hear what he say about Israel. So let me scroll down to actually, let me show you one last point to prove that there were no this is dealing with the Middle East being coined in 1901. This source right here, Cranium Aegyptica by Samuel Morton, page 66. He wrote this back in the 18th century, family. Let me see here. I think it has it up here. I'm glancing at it. Yeah, 1844. All right. But look at what he says here. He says this. It will follow that upwards of tens of millions of Negroes have been brought as bondsmen into Egypt during that period. Okay. He goes on to say, vast influx of Negroes into the valley of the Nile must necessarily have left its impressions on the physical traits of the Egyptians themselves in modern times, as seen in Copts and more distant periods, as proved by the Negroid head. So he was trying to explain why the Egyptians look like Negroes. That's basically what he's trying to say, family. He's saying the reason why they look like Negroes is because the Egyptians mixed and meshed with the Negro slaves. All right. That's what he's saying here. But look at what he says here. But it may be inquired, how does it happen that Negroes or their descendants should be found in the catacombs? And the Negroes he's referring to is our ancestors that they were in that was enslaved during that time, 1844. He's like, wait a minute, how is it that I see these same Negroes right here that we have as slaves? How is it that their craniums match the slaves that was over in Egypt?
Come on.
That's what he's saying, family. And look at this here. Negroes were numerous in Egypt, but their social position in ancient times was the same that it is now, that of servants and slaves. But I want to go to a key point here. Let me see. Did I put it here? If not, I'll go. Yeah. Look at this point right here. Look at what he says about the Scythians, right? He says the national characteristics of all these families of man are distinctly figured on the monuments, and all of them excepting Scythians and Phoenicians have been identified in the catacombs. So he didn't find no skulls. So how is it that they supposedly been enslaved in Egypt? Okay, fam, let me make sure you guys understand this. Let me zoom in the actual source. Look at this here. The national characteristics of all these families of man are distinctly figured on the monuments, and all of them excepting the Phoenicians and the Scythians and Phoenicians have been identified in the catacombs. They did not find a single skull of the Scythians there in the catacombs. But yet they're supposed to have been enslaved. That's what they'll tell you. If you ask them, hey, when have you guys ever been enslaved? Well, we was enslaved in Egypt. That's the only captivity they come up with. And we proved that they weren't. It wasn't. All right, so I'm going to pull up this video here because this is now getting into the area that I was trying to get some clips for. But let me pull up this video real quick. Any comments, Berean Scholar, as I pull up this video?
Keep going. Keep going.
I'm going to pull up this video for you guys, family, from this crazy conversation. All right, let me see if I can go here. All right, first I'm trying to get to its page. All right, let me switch this over to my We Woke Now account so we won't see any commercials. All right, and it's at the 1:30. All right, there we go. All right, so let me share the screen with you guys. I'll move this over here. All right. All right, let's see here. All right. And we'll toggle back here to debunk some of his stuff. I mean, we already debunked it just starting with the Egyptians, me going through the Egyptians and the pictures of the Israelites during that time. But let me, which one is it? Is it this one? All right, this is the right here. Let me turn the audio on. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So, want to say fair use, because you know how they do, family. They'll try to really lay it on us here. Let me see if I can zoom this in. All right, is that better?
That's
All
a
right.
whole lot better. Yes.
Let me know if you guys can hear this. Fair use.
Well, Solomon's going to indicate what eye colors are among the Israelites. And
Can you guys hear? Can you hear that, Berean Scholar?
Yes, I can hear it.
All right. Let me rewind it a little bit. All right, family. Now peep this out. This is him trying to justify, trying to say that the Israelites, starting with David and Solomon and Christ being white. I mean, here it is. Fair use.
Okay. Her princes were purer than snow, whiter than milk. Their bodies were more ruddy than coral. Their beauty or their form was like sapphire. Okay. So I know we're
all right, family. Now pay attention to what he's doing here. Right. So he's showing he's attempting to show Bible verses saying that the Israelites are Caucasians. All right. Excuse me here. My thing is acting up here. All right. So he's using Lamentation chapter 4, verse 7. Right. But the problem here is he didn't go to verse 8. Berean Scholar, should we bring up verse 8 here?
Bring it up, bro. Bring it up.
See, he didn't go to verse 8.
Stop, and that's why he's only showing one verse too.
Exactly.
And not the whole chapter.
So let's go to his source that he's using here. Let me do this here so I can see the
speaking in poetic language.
Oops, let me pause it right here, and I'm going to open up another tab.
And everybody in this chat who used that Bible Skate know if you look for a verse, it will bring you up that base verse alone. That's why that link was right below it, said full chapter. He did not want you to see the full chapter.
You see here, let's see. Lamentation 4. All right. Let me see if it'll share.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
You can see it. Okay.
Just make it bigger.
All right. Let me get back to my Zoom so I can see it. All right. So you guys can see it. All right. Let's zoom it in. All right.
Just a little bit more.
Let me zoom it in more. And let me close this banner out. All right. I think my mouse is not scrolling. Why is it not scrolling? Yeah, it's not scrolling, man. All right, let me try this way. Let me do it this way. Is it still sharing?
Yep, I see Lamentation 4.
All right, let me do something here. It's not sharing for some reason. I mean, it's not allowing me to scroll down.
You can't scroll down?
Yeah, this is crazy. That's why I moved it to another screen. It's not allowing me to scroll down in it. Let me refresh it to make sure. Yeah, it's not letting me scroll down at all. Let me refresh it. That's odd.
Well, we can skin that. We can take care of that, Pastor. You know that.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
All right. So let me zoom it in so you guys can see it. Is that better?
I can see it.
All right. Can you guys see it online?
Even
so
better than that.
We caught him, right? Look at where the passage that he highlighted. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was sapphire. Now, family, we're going to deal with Solomon, right? But ruddy is not what he's trying to make it out to be. But he see that word milk. So he want to say milk. What color is milk? White. But let's see what verse 8 says. Verse 8 says, their visage is blacker than coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. Now, let's see if we could pull this up in the blue letter. Right? Let's go to Lamentations 4. Blue letter Bible. All right, let's scroll up here. What's going on with the blue letter? Why did they? Let me go back here. Limitations. I don't know what's going on with these. You see how it's displaying, man?
Yeah.
This is crazy. Let me do it this way.
What are you trying to look up? I can pull it up.
I was going to go to the verse here. Let me see. Limitations. They got me on the list, man. All right. Oh,
if you need to, I got it up. If you need to, I got it up already.
All right. All right. There we go.
Okay.
So let's go to verse 8. And let's go to, as you see here, it has Chasak, right? Let's see what. Look at what Chasak means. It says.
It's too small.
You can go, let me zoom it in. Is that better?
A little bit better. Yeah, right there, right there.
All right, let me scroll down. Right? Chasak, right? Look at what it says. To be dark or become dark, grow dim, be darkened, be black, be hidden. Right? And it goes on to say here, to be dark, be darkened. Because, you know, one thing I don't like about how they try to put these definitions together, like they just turned black. But here, when we look at the proper context of this here, verse 4, verse 8, their visage is blacker than a coal. We already know how dark coal is. It's telling you that the color of their skin is dark. But the key, family, is apparently there's a hunger. There's a famine going on. So, of course, they're going to be dark, but the key, they're going to be ashy. That's what Zakar means. This is similar to Jeremiah 14 when it says Judah is blackened into the ground because there's a famine and their skin was ashy dark or ashy black. But nevertheless, the point that I want to make is he didn't go to this verse. He stayed where at Berean Scholar? Let's go back over. We got it up here. Where did he stay at?
That's the singular verse method. You just put in that verse so you can't see nothing above it and nothing below it.
So we caught him. We caught him, family. And so therefore, we're going to have to give him the award. We're going to have to throw the bowl at him. Yeah, we caught him peeping in the pot. So family, context is everything. This is why you don't get caught up. You know, when you're dealing with when you're dealing with people, you even ask them, hey, look, let's read, don't just quote a verse. Let's read the entire chapter so we could put things in its proper context. Right. And let me give a shout out real quick. Bertrand, want to say shout outs to you. Thank you for the love and support. Family, let's show love to Bertrand for the contribution tonight. Thank you again. And thank you again for everyone else that contributed as well. Thank you again. All right. So let's continue here. I'm going to listen to more of what he has to say. So we already see his pattern is taking scriptures out of context.
Right.
Let's see if you guys observe some of his other patterns here.
White, milk is white, and white people are described as ruddy all throughout history. Okay, because they can blush.
You see where he's going. White people is referred to being ruddy throughout history, and he's going to describe how when they blush, their face turn red. Let me rewind it a little bit. Fair use.
Poetic language, but snow is white, milk is white, and white people are described as ruddy all throughout history. Okay, because they can blush. You can see the blood in their skin. They appear ruddy. They have a reddishness to them. That's just the first one. Let's read all of them because they make a point together. First Samuel chapter 16, verse 12. This is talking about David. It says, and he sent him and brought him in. Now he was ruddy and had beautiful eyes. Interesting. And was handsome. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. Now I'll point something out.
Now, let's pause right here, family. We caught him again.
Yep.
Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 12, right? Let's pull it up here. 1 Samuel 16. And I'm going to use a different. I'm going to use Bible Hub since we'll be able to see the passages together, right? We could do more of a comparison. What verse he says? Chapter 16, verse 12.
Verse 12.
Let's go to 16, verse 12. Right? Can you guys see this?
You there, but make it a little bigger.
All right, let's see here. Let's zoom it in. Is that better?
That's better.
All right.
That's a lot better.
All right. Now, family, let's look at some of these translations. Now, of course, all of them not going to read the same, but look at what this translation, for example, the New Living Translation. So Jesse sent for him. He was, let me let you guys see it. Let me zoom in a little bit.
And handsome.
Is that better, guys?
Oh, yeah, we can see it. I can say that he was dark and handsome.
Can you guys see it? That's watching. You guys make a note of this, family. See, this is how you pick apart these narratives. So look at here. It says, so Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome. All right, let's go to another translation here. That's the New Living Translation. There's a couple more because out of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? That's how that thing can be established, for something to be established, right?
That's correct.
So let's see if we see another translation that's in the vicinity that pretty much says the same thing. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. All right. Wait a minute. The International Standard Version? Let me see here. Let me see if I can highlight that one.
Ooh.
What do you guys see?
He had dark, healthy complexion with beautiful eyes. He was handsome.
Okay. So we got 2. We established 2, right? Well, we got to go for another one, right? We got to get one more, right? Because we got to go the red heifer. Because the red heifer is actually what? The brown cow, right?
Come on.
So let's see if we see another one here. Let's see here. He was reddish brown.
Come on. Come on.
Y'all see, am I making this up? Y'all see it, right? Reddish brown. Didn't say he was red because he was white skinned, had no pigmentation, and he was blushing, so his cheeks turned red.
That is like weak interpretation. Come on. He was reddish brown. I like that.
Come on, family. This is like we would say back in the day, who won come test?
And Pastor, that's how you knock them down, because anybody can Google a ruddy cow, a ruddy horse, a ruddy duck, and you'll see the color you get.
I'm glad you said that.
It won't be no white person blushing color.
This is the red heifer, not this one right here that they tried to hype up with the Photoshop. Look at this red heifer right here. That's the actual red heifer.
That's a white person blushing, y'all.
Come on, family. We was born that night, but not last night, right?
Come on now. There you're right. You're right.
All right. So let's go back over to him. So we already what? So far he's 0 for 2, right?
That's strike 2.
So let's continue listening. Fair use.
That word ruddy in this instance is the exact same Hebrew word that describes Esau in Genesis.
Now, real quick, family, notice he's not pulling up sources. Have you guys seen? Did you see him pull up any dictionaries? He's not pulling up sources. He's banking on his articulation of his points. That if you hear him say this in a clear way, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So far, we proved that he doesn't know what he's talking about. All right. He mastered word salads.
That's right.
Same Hebrew word. And only David and Esau are ever described with that version of ruddy. In other words, David looked a lot like Esau. He was ruddy. And we know Esau is known as being kind of this ruddy, reddish looking with red hair guy. Okay. Interesting. David has the exact same word describe him. And then it says beautiful eyes. Well, Solomon's going to indicate what eye colors are among the Israelites and skin color. So go ahead and scroll down again. Okay, so Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, verses 14 and 15. This one is describing Solomon. So this is the woman describing Solomon. And everybody watching can verify this. His arms are rods of gold set with jewels. His body is polished ivory, bedecked with sapphires. English Standard's funny. His legs are alabaster columns set on bases of gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as the cedars. I just want to point out several things.
All right. Before we let him point out several things, I'm going to point out several things. He skipped over a very key verse. Let me show you here. See, family, this is what you call shiest, this shifting in the shiesty hands. Let me show you how he's shifting his hands. He's playing 3-card Monte with you guys. He got he know what that king of hearts or that ace of diamonds or whatever, but he got you going. He already know where the card is, but he got you fooled. He keep moving it. Oh, but I'm gonna keep picking that ace of spade or that ace of diamonds because I see how he's shiesty. He's shifting hands. All right, let me prove it to you, family. Let's pull up. Let's go over here to back over to this source here. And we're going to go to Songs of Solomon, right? And I'm going to show you how shiesty, the shifty hands he's rolling with. Let's see here. Was it Song of Solomon 5, right?
5. He brought up 14 and 15.
All right. Now let's scroll down to 14 and 15. And I'm going to show you where he did another shifting of his hands. So he said, verse 14, his hands are as gold, ring set with beryl. His belly as bright as ivory, overlaid with sapphires. His legs are as pillars of marble, set upon sockets of fine gold. His countenance is as Lebanon, excellent as the cedars. But he started at what verse again?
14.
14. So let's scroll up a little bit because context is everything, right, family? Let's start at verse 10. My beloved is white and ruddy. And we're going to break that down here in a second. I'm going to bring my slides up again. But look at here. Verse 11. His head is as the most fine gold. Gold is not white.
Nope.
And it says his locks are bushy and black as a raven. Why did he skip over this?
He didn't see that.
Why did he skip this part right here, family?
Wow.
Why did he skip this? You know, I should have had some of my other animations up here, my videos up here. Let me see if I still have the chair up in here. I think I took it down because I was pressed for video space, but I'm gonna give him the garbage can. I still have the garbage can up here. We're giving them the garbage can, family.
And that's exactly what it is, garbage. That's how they have oppressed us and colonized us for centuries.
You see how they do this thing, family? Now, gold, right? You got to understand, this is not saying that Solomon is Caucasian.
No.
See, he can't even give an honest assessment of the scriptures. See, he's 0 for 3, right? We done snuffed out his pattern. He's cherry picking. Come on, family. He's cherry picking. But let's go back here. Let's go back to his words.
Ivory is his body, and alabaster are his legs. Ivory is white, alabaster is white. Okay, so once again, we're getting this, the terms being used relate to white and ruddy. Go to the next one. Song chapter 5, verse 12. His eyes are like doves. This one's describing Solomon as well. His eyes are like doves beside streams of water bathed in milk, sitting beside a full pool. What is being described there? What color is water? So it's white doves next to water. What color is water?
Wow.
Right? If you look at a spring, yeah, it's blue, it's green. Those are the colors of water.
You can't make this stuff up,
springs.
Man.
Israel has springs as well.
Blue-eyed dove.
Blue, beautiful green color. Right?
He's trying to say, right? His eyes are like doves beside streams of water. And he's saying that because of this image that he's saying here, that his eyes are green or blue, whatever the colors of the water is. You can't make this stuff up, family. You cannot make this stuff up.
That's how you make false doctrine.
Let's fast forward to Christ. This guy right here, man. Let's see what he says about Christ. All right, here we go.
Doesn't say his hair was wool. It says it's white like white wool. So his hair is white like snow. His eyes were like a...
Wait a minute. See how he brushed over? Yep. It says his hairs of his head were white, right? Like white wool, like snow. Family, the word like means having the characteristics.
And he just lied and said it doesn't say it's like wool. While reading the scripture, that's how they get you.
So let's rewind it again. Here it is.
Okay.
Boom.
Let's burnished brown. Okay, it does. Yeah. So ESV is doing a decent job. Okay, so verse 14, the hairs of his head were white like white wool. It doesn't say his hair was wool. It says it's white like white wool. So his hair is white like snow. His eyes.
All right, family. Let's pause right here. Let me do like. Just so we could, you guys can, we could do some investigation on the fly. Now, what do you see here, Berean Scholar? Let me highlight it here.
Having the same characteristics are qualities. Like having the same characteristics are qualities.
Having the same characteristics or qualities. Oh, let me close this out. I was trying to close this little banner, but it's not letting me. Oh man, these guys are garbage, man. But anyway, what does it say again, Berean Scholar?
Having the same characteristics or qualities as another, like.
So having the same characteristics or qualities. So when we go back over to which one is it? Let me look for the tab. Did I come out of it?
I think you used to.
All right, let's go backwards. I thought I did. I
keep going backwards. Keep going backwards. It's next time. Go backwards again.
Yeah, it's. Let me see which one is it.
I think you was in the right tab. You just need to go backwards another time.
It was the video. It was the video. There it is. That's it. Let me fast forward back over here. Let me bring that back up. I thought I had the
like.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Let's go back over here. So we see here where it says like. So it's saying that his hair of his head were white like. In other words, it's having the characteristics of being what?
And qualities of wool.
And also wool. White like wool. So it's saying the texture, not just the color, but the texture of wool. But also we see like snow. What's the color of snow?
White.
Doesn't make sense for him to say his hair was white like white.
Exactly.
You see the texture and you see the color here. All right, let's continue.
We're like a ESV is messing with it a little bit. So
he's trying to find a version
that fit his story.
Exactly. So he didn't like that part when he didn't like how it was reading, so he cut it off.
Yeah,
let's go back here. Look at this. Let's play it again.
He couldn't get past that description of his feet.
Exactly. He's trying to find a Bible version that's going to fit his what he wanted to say. All right, here we go.
Verse 15 as well, if we can.
Okay.
I said only verse 14, but 15 gives us a full picture.
Give me 1 second.
You're good. Okay.
Boom.
Let's. Okay, burnished brown. Okay, it does.
Oh, look at this.
So ESV is doing a decent job. Okay, so verse 14. The hairs of his head were white like white wool. It doesn't say his hair was wool. It says it's white like white wool. So his hair is white like snow. His eyes were like a. ESV is messing with it a little bit.
Oh, he just caught it. Oh, I can't tell the story now.
The NASB.
NASB?
Yeah, the 95 right there that you're looking at. Yep, that one's fine too. That's the 2020 that you selected. His head and his hair were white like white wool. So in the in the Greek, his head and his hair are two different descriptions. So his head is white and his hair is white, like snow. And his eyes were like a flame of fire. This is very...
And his hair.
For a minute. When you have a blowtorch with a gas flame and it's called a pure flame, what color is a pure flame?
Orange and blue and yellow and...
Blue, yeah. If you have a perfectly pure flame, right? As it has impurities, it changes color, but that pure flame depending on how well your blowtorch works, but at that lower part of the flame, it's blue. So you could start to argue that if we're dealing with a pure flame here, we're dealing with blue eyes. Jesus having white head, blue eyes. This is interesting too.
Blue eyes. His eyes were like a flame of fire, right, family? What this is describing, this is not describing the color of his eyes, but the intensity of his eyes, of what he saw, of what became of his people. So he's trying to say a clear or pure flame is the color is blue. So therefore, Christ's eyes, this is saying that his eyes, he has blue eyes.
I mean, he had to stretch way. That's a reach.
Oh, and listen to what he said about the burnished bronze. So he's saying Christ has blue eyes, right? The hippie Christ, the baby father Jesus.
His feet were like burnished bronze. Now people see that and they go, look, brown skin, right? Because bronze is brown. But the problem is it says when it has been heated to glow in a furnace. Well, if you go look at molten bronze, it's white. It's glowing white. So the description again is white. His skin being white again.
Dude, I knew Jesus was white.
So people think that,
oh my God,
like, oh, when you talk about the
so let's stop it right here. Right? You see the guy celebrate. I knew he was white. Oh my gosh.
Come on,
family
now.
Context is everything.
Wow.
Go ahead, Berean Scholar, while I bring up my presentation here.
This is the epitome of the ideology of white supremacists that lives in Christianity and lives in this Western theological. They can do all types of flips to make it fit them. Just like you said before, when their mutation have not came about until 3,000 years. The science has proven it. But they're gonna make them do all these exercises to twist and turn. And they've done it for hundreds of years, and they had us conditioned to hate ourselves. Wow.
And they'll say, like how Cedric the Entertainer said in one of his stand-ups, like, I love colored people. Hey, I got a color TV. And he said, oh, now you got two black eyes. Come on, family. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's why I'm glad that the Most High has put us in a position now that we could call this stuff out. You know what I mean? We don't have to sit because of poor information and receive this craziness. We can call this stuff out, man. Song of Solomon 1 and 5. You guys already know that. This is Solomon's wife, and she's describing herself as being, as you see, a Shakarwar, saying that she's dark, but this is where you get the term black and beautiful, because comely means beautiful. Right. So she's saying that, the key point that I want to get here, as we look at Qadar, the ancient Hebrew word Qadar, because we see Kader there, her skin being compared to that, but we see Qadar. And when we get to the root of what Qadar means, it says Qadar equals dark, right? Dark, dusky of the skin. But let's take it a step further. When we go to the primitive root word, right, look at what Qadar means. To be ashy, an example, dark colored. So the key is dark and ashy, right? Because she was outside, right? But she was doing some stuff outside, right? But we can compare this to Judah, right? Well, all right, family, let's see here. Qadar, Eastern Bible Dictionary, look at what it says. Dark-skinned, the second son of Ishmael. So saying dark-skinned. Qadar, dark-skinned. So remember this, though, family. Qadar means dark-skinned. So when we go to Jeremiah, right, it says Judah is dark-skinned, and I'm going to prove it real quick. Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth Abal, and the gates thereof languish. Amal, or Abal, and this one is Amal. They are black unto the ground. Aratzah. And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. A black here is Qadar, right? I didn't put it there that was an accident. But when we see mourn, because what they're trying to tell you, right? We see mourn here, kind of like how that guy went with white to white. They want to say Judah mourneth, and the gates of the gates thereof language. They are mourning unto the ground. That's how they want you to read this.
They're stuttering.
Family, you guys already you guys know that you'll get an F if you was in school and your sentence was structured this way.
Come on now.
Come on, family. But when we look at mourn, we already see a word for that. Abal. Bewail, lament, mourn. So Abal describes the actions, the behaviors, the demeanor, the temperament of the Israelites. They're mourning. Language, right? Again, Amal, this is another word. It says to droop, implication, to be sick, weak, wax feeble. So again, Amal describes the security vulnerabilities of a compromised, weakened gate. So you have Abal, and now we're dealing with Amal. So we see the people are what? Compromised because they are mourning. But we see that, and they're weak. And we see that the whole city is vulnerable. Now we get to the word Amal because now the security is a compromise. The security describes the security vulnerabilities of a compromised, weakened gates due to a weakened, compromised people. So the proper read is Judah is displaying a passionate display of grief, and their gates, their cities is weak. It's compromised. So now, which leads me to this word quadar. So we already dealt with the gates being compromised. We dealt with the people being in mourning and they're weak. But now look at what we see here, quadar. The primitive root word is to be ashy. An example, dark colored. So what does this mean? This means that they're going through a famine. And when you're going through a famine, guess what? You're going to look dark, but you're still going to be ashy. You're going to be ashy dark. Now, come on, family. Now, how many of you guys have taken a shower or taken a bath, and that cool air hit your skin without you putting lotion on first? What happened to your skin? Now I'm kind of dark here. So if I don't put lotion on and that cool air hit my skin gonna be ashy. So this is happening during the famine. Exactly. Let me break this down real quick. That's why I got a little brother man here, right? Making sure he see that. So Quadar describes the physical appearance of Judah. Their skin is dark and ashy like the ground. Judah is experiencing a drought. Remember, we said context is everything. So Jeremiah 14:2 is describing Judah's physical appearance during a famine. So when we go beyond verse 1 and 2, when we go to verse 3, look at here. Their nobles have sent their little ones to the waters. They came to the pits, found no water. They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and confounded and covered their heads because the ground, Adamah, is chapped. Y'all know how the ground look when it's chapped. It looks just like our skin. It says it's chapped. Katha, for there was no rain in the earth. The plowmen were ashamed. They covered their heads. We picking this apart, right? So the key here, we see to be shattered, to be broken, because when the ground is chapped, it's going to look like it's shattered. It's going to look like it's broken. And guess what? When your skin is ashy and chapped and your lips are chapped, guess what's going to happen?
It start cracking.
Right? And when we look at the etymology definition of the word chapped, it says to split, cause to split or crack. Okay? So again, the proper read of this text, the proper transliteration should be Judah, Yahwadah, right? Abal is, in other words, is displaying a passionate display of grief. Their gates, their cities, Amal, are weak, compromised, and their skin, Quadar, is dark and ashy like the ground. Now I'm going to give you an illustration. Is that a perfect illustration?
That's a good one.
This is a picture from Northeast Africa. Do I need to zoom in? You see the crevices? Doesn't that look just like the ground?
And one of the people in the chat made a good point, Pastor, that their skin was dry because there's no water. There were no oils. There were no oils to apply to the skin. They was doing it out. And you know us, we have to have moisturizer in our skin.
You know, I'm glad he said that, or he or she that posted that. I didn't see the post, so I don't want to assume it was a guy. But I'll say he or she. I'm glad the person posted that. Why? Because you know how I do. I got that covered, family. Let me show you an image here. I'm not going to go through all of this with the morning, but let me show you how it would actually look. Let me show an image of that area going through morning. All right, let me see here. I'm just fast forwarding to get to that point. Or do I have it here? You know what? I think I think I took out the Sudan image. Yeah, I took it out, family. I took it out accidentally. Oh well, I don't have it in there because it's a picture that I would normally have of Sudan in that area, and it gives you a picture of depicting of what the people would look like during a famine. They still dark, but you see like an ashiness to them. Dry skin, like to the point that you made and that the person posted inside the chat. All right. So I thought I had it here. My apologies. I thought I had it covered. I don't have it covered. So blame Berean Scholar. All right. So do we need to break down Christ's skin? Family, do we need to do that? Do we need to break down olive? Do we need to break all this stuff down? Just real quick. Olive, a small oval fruit with a hard pit and bitter flesh, green unripe, and brownish black when ripe. NASA, we got a problem. Which olive are they referring to? We know they're not referring to the brownish black olive. What do you think, Berean Scholar?
Wow. Now, if they talk about the green one, we got a problem with that.
Because now they're saying Christ looks sickly. So if they say that, oh, you know, olive skin, because you hear that a lot. Oh, so you saying that Christ looks sickly? You saying that Christ looked like he should be? He should be in the this series. What's that zombie series? I can't think of
Walking Dead. The Walking
Dead. All right. Then we see grayish green, right? So I mean, right about that color, right? Did Christ have green skin? No, he did not look like a Martian. All right, let's fast forward. I'm not going to get into this here. I want to get to a key point here. I want to get to Christ. We don't need to go through all of this, family. It's so easy to knock this stuff down. Let me show you a visual, right? Because I showed you an ancient visual, right, of the Israelites compared to the Egyptians. Remember this photo right here, family? Remember this photo, Berean Scholar? Yemen, the Arabs selling Yemenites as slaves. 12th century. Let me go back here. Let me zoom it in, family. This is Yemenite Israelites. Now these look just like the Limba. Because remember, the Limba says that they migrated from this area. But these are Arabs. All these Arabs are selling who? The original people in this area. Yet they are selling Israelites. All right. So what is the true complexion of the Messiah? What is his true complexion? But I want to get to a key point here, because he brushed over the heads in his hair, right? Family, I can prove that the Messiah had locks. Like Berean Scholar got his locks, right? The Nazareth vow, right? You don't cut your hair.
Nope.
And Yahushua did this for his entire life. His head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. His feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. All right. I'm just fast forwarding here. We're going to go to, we could go to King Solomon, but I may have to, well, this is dealing with the white and ruddy portion of it, family. That guy Rich title he skipped over. Simply put, family, let me break this down real quick for the sake of time. I don't want to go through every slide, but when we look at Sakha, right? When we break this down, look at what it says: be dazzling white. So this is not saying that he was Solomon is being described as being white complexion. It's saying that he has beautiful skin. So when you see be dazzling white, that's a compliment of his skin being beautiful. When we look at the Oxford Dictionary definition of dazzle, it says here, right? Entry 1.1, sub-entry here, amaze or overwhelm. In other words, someone with a particular impressive quality, right? So let's break this down. So in Hebrew, tzaka means amazing, okay? So my beloved is white and ruddy. Let's bring this together. So ruddy, right? We see Adam, the primitive, the root word that this comes from. It says rosy, red, ruddy, right? But it really doesn't give us a lot. But then again, it does give us some key anchors. Heifer. Remember you mentioned that, Berean scholar, we brought up the brown cow. Lentils. What color are lentils? Now I'm sorry if you eating some lentils that look white. What lentils are you eating? I don't want none.
Exactly.
So look at here, ruddy. Now let's bring this home here. The Webster Underbridge Dictionary, 1913, definition of ruddy, right? Entry number 2, of a lively flesh color or the color of the human skin in high health. The color of human skin in high health. That's the key right there, family. That's a medical term right there. Genesis 25:25. And the first came out red out of Mawanah, all over like in hairy garment, and they called his name Asher. Was Esau a white man? Was he the white man? Excuse the typo here. Blame Berean scholar. Because this is what this rich title guy, Tidewell, he says. He basically said David is white, Esau's, all of them are white. Well, let's go to the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia, 1915, because I'm sure he didn't get the memo. Ruddy. Ruddy is the form taken by the adjective red when used as a term of praise of the human skin. And this is its use in the Bible. The Hebrew and Greek words are all usual words for red or to be red. But here's the kicker. Putting things in its proper context. The dark-skinned Hebrews found great beauty in a clear complexion. So it's making it clear when you see the word ruddy, right? The dark-skinned Hebrews, right? The key to this is praise of what? Human skin, right? Dark-skinned Hebrews found what? Great beauty in a clear complexion, right? Because guess what? We have the laws in Leviticus about leprosy. What is it from chapter 10 through chapter 13? It deals with blemishes on the skin.
That's right.
So the reason why it stressed this with Esau being ruddy is saying that even though Esau was unusually hairy all over, but he had no blemishes in his skin. Saying that there was no issues. He did not have any medical issues. He was just hairy all over. Any comments, Berean scholar?
And for those, and I know you have the actual International Standard Bible Encyclopedia, but I pulled it up online and dropped a link in the chat to bring it up. And I had to screen with that. You can find it online. The very same thing you got. For those of you have people who are pushing this propaganda, pull it up, show them. It's the exact same verbatim that what Pastor has on screen, but it's online. So I dropped that link online. You can see it for yourself.
And as you can see, family, I made it a point to zoom in so no one can say that I misquoted. This is the actual screenshot from the dictionary itself. So the dark-skinned Hebrews found great beauty and a clear complexion. So when you see ruddy, right, it's saying that King Solomon had beautiful dark skin.
Exactly.
He had no blemishes in his skin. All right. And
it didn't say he was a white man who was blushing.
Exactly. And family, keep in mind, there's different shades to dark. See, the institution of race tried to lump everything up with black, white, you know, those things. They don't tell you that there's shades to dark. So we all are dark. Me and Berean Scholar, we're dark. Even though I may be a darker shade than he, but we're still dark. Right? Right now, I think the only thing you'll see is my eyes. My teeth.
Come on now.
No, I'm just joking, right? So, but the point, family, is we come in different shades, not different colors.
Exactly.
All right. So we already knocked it. It messed my slide up.
Well, before you do that, can you pull up what I had up there, Pastor? So I want those to have that tool in that box. Yeah. The exact same thing you said. This is the online version. So you click the link up, guys. You have it yourself ready. That's a lie of propaganda that most people put. They were ready because they were blushing. Nope.
Like he said, right? and his eyes are blue because the pure color of fire.
Oh man, that was such a stretch.
All right, so let's go to a key point here. All right, let me fast forward here. His hair, we already proved that his hair, when it says bushy, his locks bushy, basically when we pull it up, it's telling us that his hair looked like a pile, right? Look at here, of branches. It says here, a trailing bow, bushy, but the key is wavy, but right here actually branchy, used for women's hair, right? But nevertheless, think about branches. Matter of fact, Berean Scholar, you have locks. Your hair looks like branches. A pile of what? Branches. That's what this is saying, family. The primitive root definition means a mound, to pile up. All right. So his locks are like a mound, a pile of hair. All right. Let me go to another key point. We already know about the Nazarite. We know Samson had locks. We know that Ezekiel had locks because the Most High pulled him by a lock of his head.
Yep.
And the Europeans added the word dread to locks. But guess what? I'm going to prove to you that, guess what? The Messiah had locks. All right, let's go back to Revelation 1:14. All right, we already broke down the word like. I don't need to break that down. His hair, it said his head and his hair were white like wool. So you have to understand wool from a sheep. Because a sheep in that area, hair looks like it's locked. Okay. All right, let me prove it. Let's go to hair. Threeks, right? The hair of the head. But it says compare. Now it's telling us to compare this, right? It says threeks is comparable with chome. And when we go to chome, the Greek definition of chome, the hair of the head, locks. Is that a mic drop or what? All right. So I need to give you guys a visual, right? How this would look from a sheep perspective, right? Chome means the hair of the head. It means locks. So let's pull this up here. Now, Berean Scholar, your locks look like this, right?
Yep.
Don't our hair look like this when it's locked? Doesn't this look like wool? But guess what I did, family? I superimposed this image, right? Here's the actual image itself. Let me show you here. Let me go back. I thought I had it here. See, I took it off. I didn't put it in here, but it's actually a picture of a sheep head. I didn't put, I was rushing. So actually this would be white, but it still look locks. That's the point that I want to make, but I accidentally, let me make sure. Make sure I didn't show it again. Yeah, I was rushing and I accidentally took, I took it out. I didn't include it all.
I see the sapphires.
But either way, what you see, family, that is a sheep, right? Oh, and the actual hair color is white, almost like an off-white. But that looks like our hair, the texture and all. All right. All right. Let me fast forward. This is Mark basically confirming this. I don't need to read all of that. So remember, Hebraic white means amazing, right? When we bring this back over to Revelation 1:15, right? Breaking it down, his head and his hair were white like wool, right? As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, right? Revelation 2:18. And these unto the angel of the church of Thyatira writes, these things saith the son of Elohim, who have his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass. So 2 or 3 witnesses, right? So many will focus on Revelation chapter 1, which is fine, but we have a second witness here in chapter 2, verse 18. Oh, we done dropped the mic a couple of times tonight, huh, Berean Scholar?
You blew up. You blew the mic up.
So, family, we're wrapping this up. His feet like unto fine brass is actually copper. Because brass is a new, more of a modern material. It will either be bronze or copper, not this brass stuff. And there's a lot to come with that. But anyway, so when we see brass, right, you could go and do the history of this, right? But the key is copper. It's a lot of deception, even with this definition here. I'm not going to get into all of that. I don't want to read all of that. All right.
I like one of the comments from Yashar Yahoo. Said he worked on a farm, shearing farm where sheep's hair was powdered on the floor, and it looks like the hair on the floor of the barbershop.
Exactly. And guess what? They have chairs, right, from slave owners that used our hair to stuff the pillows as cushions.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This dealing with the Statue of Liberty, the original color of it before the erosion kicked in, because people thought that the Statue of Liberty was a sister, right? But it was because of the copper, right? When you see copper, the true copper is going to be dark brown, very dark brown. But I was trying to find that here. Find a you know what? I'll just stop right here. I'm just going to give you one last source, family, right? Because remember, it said this is the mic drop right here when it says his voice as the sound of many waters. Right now, the only way you're going to understand this portion of this prophecy or this description here, you have to understand who Phineas is. All right. His voice as the sound of many waters. The explanation begins with understanding Phineas. Remember, Phineas, right? We'll get to that in a second. Remember the 1 drop Negro blood rule, right? 1 drop of Negro blood, you're a Negro, right? That's the standard here in the United States, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm not going to read all of this, but this is just bearing witness of what I pointed out, right? Which they call it the traceable amount rule. All right. Let's fast forward. All right. And it says Eleazar, Aaron's son, took him one of the daughters of Pudel, his to wife, and she bare him Phinehas, Payanakas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites. So we see Aaron's, right? It says Eleazar, Aaron's son, named his grandson Phinehas. So Aaron has a grandson by the name of Phinehas, right? That was a common name among the Levitical priests. So peep this out. We go to 1 Samuel chapter 1. Who has a son by the name of Phinehas? Eli. He was a high priest. You had Hophni and Phinehas, Payanakas, the priests of Yahweh. So Eli was a high priest. His sons were priests. So let's go to Eastern Bible Dictionary and see how they define Phinehas. Wait a minute. Can you grab? I'm having problems reading tonight, Berean Scholar. Can you tell me what that says on the screen?
Mouth of brass. From the Old English, the Negro.
Wait a minute. The who?
From the Old English, the Negro.
So understand this, family. When it says mouth of brass, this is dealing with authority. From Old Egypt, it says the Negro, son of Eleazar, the high priest. But the key is this name is associated with the Levites. We read a couple of entries from the scriptures that the Levite, by that name Phinehas, been applied to Eli, his son, as well as Aaron's grandson or Moses' grandnephew. So mouth of brass, the Negro. Oh, come on, family. Now I know y'all like, how does Phinehas tie in with the mouth of brass? How does that tie into the voice of many waters? How? Look at here. Mouth of a serpent. That's judgment, family. We see mouth of a serpent. That is judgment. And it says the name of 3 Israelites, right? But look here, mouth of a serpent, that is judgment. Let me prove it here. Right? Just give you the answer, or some of the answer here. So, son of Eleazar, grandson of Aaron, his zealousness for Yahweh averted a plague on Israel and gained the promise of Yahweh of an everlasting priesthood in his family. Well, let me bring that home. When we go to Numbers chapter 25, verse 13, right? And he shall have it, and his seeds after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for Elohim and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Right? Well, what does this mean? You got to get this, you got to get to verse 1 through 3 to really understand this. It says that Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom because the Moabites, right, Baal and the king of Moab, came up with a scheme to have their women seduce the men of Israel and have the what? Profane themselves. So it says the people began to commit whoredom, the daughters of Moab, and they called the people unto the sacrifices, Zabak, of their God. So now the men began to what? Idol worship. They began to participate in these sacrifices, right? And the people did eat and bow down to their gods. In other words, they were eating foods that was made specifically for those deities of the Moabites, which normally has what? Swine in it, which normally has pork in it, that's normally have rodents in it, that's normally have shellfish. That is foods of the kings. That's why Daniel didn't want to eat from the table of Nebuchadnezzar. That is the foods of their gods. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, Lord of the, which is also known as the Lord of the Cleft, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel. So Israel was camped in the plains of Moab along the Jordan River, right across from the great city of Jericho. The area was also called Shedom. And so Balaam, the false prophet, the diviner and sorcerer, was unable to call down a curse upon Israel. So he came up with a satanic plan. Balaam suggested to the king of Moab to have the Moabite women again seduce the Israelite men into sexual perversion. He suggested that this perhaps would arouse the anger of Yahweh, which they were right, against Israel, causing Yahweh to judge and curse them. Once they were enslaved to sex, the women could invite them to their festivals of worship, encouraging them to join in the worship of their deities. And so guess what? This is where you start really understanding the mouth of brass, because when you go and you read the text in its entirety, Phinehas passed judgment. Why? Because the situation that took place, it was one of the men from Israel having intercourse in front of Moses and the people while they were mourning. So Phinehas took his spear and threw it right through them. And because he took a stand, the Most High halted his judgment at that time. Why? Because over 24,000 men, it'll say, died of a pestilence, when actually they died of an incurable venereal disease. That's all that is saying, a pestilence. All of them died of an incurable disease. But Phinehas, mouth of brass, he stood for what? Righteousness. I hope that makes sense, everyone. Any comments, Berean scholar?
When I seen that, the mouth of brass, like you said, spoke with authority. He spoke with just like I remember my parents, how when they said, boy, when they said it, I heard that authority and you jumped. You snapped to attention because you know what they mean.
Come on, family. And we know when a child, there's a difference between the tone of a mother and the tone of a father. There's a big difference. Not saying that the child don't respect moms, but it's something about a father tone, especially when that child knows that they are messing up. The child would, they probably would go into, just shut down like they, remember those old cars, Yugo?
Yugo.
Shut down like a Hugo, right? But family, that's that in a nutshell. He authority. He had such authority. So when you see the scripture says Christ, his voice was that of the voice of many, many waters. That's authority, and you see how it ties right into Phinehas. All right, I know we've been going for a little while. These set of passages is showing the image of Christ. Family, we could do this all day, right? Colossians 1:14 and 15. It says here, right? Who this is dealing with Christ, who is the image of the invisible Yahweh, the firstborn of every creature. Greek definition of image, right? Likeness, statue, profile. Right? But let's take it a step further. Let's see the description of Yahweh. Revelation 4:23. It says here, and immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, and sight like unto an emerald. That's the stones right there.
Yep.
That's the stones right there, family. Put your hand up to the screen.
Don't they look ready to you?
Absolutely. Put your hand up to the screen, family. And I purposely had someone of a different persuasion holding them ready, holding these stones, so you can see the contrast.
You were created in the image of the Most High.
Let's go to Ezekiel 126. Look at this. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. So this is describing the Most High. Oh, we got two witnesses, right? We could get a third witness out here if you guys want. Let's go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the throne was cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and his hair, and the hair of his heads like the pure wool.
Again.
Wait a minute. It says like the what? Pure wool. Something special about you, Judah?
Yes.
His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. But guess what? The Messiah is mentioned in the same chapter. Oh, yeah, family. Verse 13. So no one can try to say that, oh, that's Christ. No, that's the Father. But Christ came as his image, represented him. He came in his image, right? But look at here. Verse 13. I saw in the night vision, behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. So here it is. He see the Father sitting on the throne, and now he's seeing his Son come to him. Because it said they brought him. So who is bringing the Messiah to the Father? Oh, is this another mic drop, family? So Adam's description, according to Scripture, Genesis 27 and 7. 2 and 7. Yahweh formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And you see the word chayayam, right? That means that it wasn't a one-time thing. He kept breathing the breath of life into his nostrils until Adam was able to breathe on his own. And man became a living soul. But the key is we see Adamah, the ground, Adamah. All right. And when we go to the Tanakh, same thing, right? Yahweh Elohim formed man from the dust of the earth, Adamah. He blew into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. We already went through all of this. We kind of doubling back. I don't want to repeat this again. All right, we're going to stop right here, family. But I just wanted to close out with
saying it. You just gotta keep saying it, brother. That's more than a mic drop. You were created in the image of the Most High. These lies, these twisting of the spiritual, these stretching, they're trying to make things seem like it fit them. All that is garbage. We need to wash that from our brains, and this need to be reposted. Everyone in this chat need to repost this because they've heard these lies for centuries. They haven't heard the truth that much. I know we haven't, but other people need to hear this. So we need to repost this, share this. We need to watch it again so we can take it in, so we can be able to tell others with authority, with mouth of brass. You can tell others with mouth of brass the truth about the Most High and the truth about his people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And family, this is the last image right here. Soil sample in Northeast Africa.
Oh, I love this one.
Y'all see that Adamah that's in her hand? And you see the different shades of the Adamah? These are different shades, family. But it's still what? This is ruddy right here. Come on, family. I think that's the last image. Let me make sure. But I just wanted to for you guys to see that. Yeah, that's the last image.
Down to the root.
And this is right here. Brown, of a color produced by mixing red, yellow, and blue as of dark wood or rich soil. That means you can't get this color from white people. You can't get brown from white people. And I'm not trying to say this sound facetious in saying that.
It's just plain truth.
You're not going to have Noah looking like, had him looking like Russell Crowe of today, and his wife, both are Caucasians, and then give birth to 3 different shades: a Caucasian, Japheth, a Arab, the way that they had him looking,
and a brother man from somewhere,
Shem, and then you had Ham was looking like Afro Thunder.
I'm saying.
So, family, there you have it. There you have it, family. There you have it. Any comments? Final comments, Berean Scholar? I know we gave a lot of information here tonight, and like I said, when I saw the guy's video, I was like, man, this is ridiculous. And I tagged him in this video. So let's see if he if he respond. But I know he's gonna get the tag.
And again, folks, I'm sorry, Pastor. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, my brother.
Again, like you said, he goes out and he says these things, and him and other people who are training people who are pastoring people, are preaching these same doctrines, and our people are internalizing this self-hate, because that's how it's been presented to us. So we're not anyone. We're not in it. This is your book. This is a book talking about your ancestors, and we need to know the truth and be able to tell the truth. And I thank you, Pastor, for bringing this up, because it takes us not just to hear this one time, but to go back, watch the video again, that we can be able to speak this. And I'm glad you brought out that mouth of brass. We need to be able to speak this, not rudely, but that we know for certain that this is the truth.
Yeah, I appreciate it, my brother. And family, go back over, like Berean Scholar said, share the video. And you guys that's in the chat, we managed to, I think we looked like we done hit almost 500 tonight, but we still got over 400 that's in the chat. Go to the comment section and just type a comment, even if you just say thank you. Right? If we could get 100 people going over to the chat, going over to the comment section of this video, and you just type in a comment there, whether you agree or disagree, but just type a comment over there. That help breaks the algorithm, right? And hype the video up, and you all have a YouTube page, because if you have a YouTube account, that means you can share this on your YouTube page. All of those things play a part. So if we could get 100 people just to go into the comment section and just type a comment, whatever, you could just type in thank you, or you could just put an emoji there, but that's still a comment. And then you share the video, you hype it up. If we could get 100 people to do that, that'll help break the algorithm, for us, not algorithm, but break the shadow banning that we're subjected to.
Exactly.
It doesn't cost you anything, family. It's just a few clicks and just a little extra. So with that being said, tomorrow I may just index this video, because it takes a little time, like putting the chapters there. So I may just tomorrow, when I get up and about, I'll put chapters in this video, so you'll be able to go throughout, go to certain sections, of the video, so that way, it'll be easier for you to navigate through it. But with that being said, Berean, anything you got going on, or you good?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to drop in the chat a link that you can click on, guys, and please go right there. You can go tonight, click on it, and put a notification so we're going to be talking about some of the things that have been happening to our people during this time. Like, about the case happening down in Mississippi. It was a case in Florida where a young woman found we're going to talk about how we need to wake up our brothers and sisters to the truth this time. So go and join us. The title of it is "Why Do They Hate Us?" Why do they hate us? So please go and join us tomorrow at 5 Eastern time. And like Pastor said, help us get beyond this shadow banning. Share these links. Be a part of what we do. Push the truth out. Thank you.
Halala waya. Right. Appreciate you, bro, brother. And family, as we close out, in the words of the Most High, Yahweh, in the ears of Moses, he gave him this word to give to the people who was, they were fearful. They was complaining. They was restless because they came to what appeared to be a dead end. And the Most High gave Moses these encouraging words. This is Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14. Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today would not have power over you ever again. The Most High will fight for you. But here's the kicker, family. We must hold our peace. The Hebrew word there for peace is charash, which means be quiet. Right? It means be quiet, family. In other words, calculated silence. Can't go back. Can't stay here. Keep moving forward. Shalom.
There is something special about you, Judah. There is something special about you, Israel, or Yashara'al. When I say Judah, Yahawada. That is the ancient pronunciation of the word. There is something special about you, Judah. Yahweh only spoke to you, to us, as a nation. And he spoke to no other nation. That's why we are supposed to be what? That light. We're Yah's chosen people that's separated. We're supposed to be the nation that's teaching the nations, not the nations teaching us.
Lion of Judah come upon the earth, bringing unquenchable fire. All the tribes of Israel and the believers stand in power. Speak with authority, worship uncontrollably. There's something about you, Judah. Fire upon the kingdom of darkness. We may suffer for a little while, but joy cometh in the morning.
Judah special, no wonder we were a chosen vessel. In and out of captivity, weaving like a pretzel. Messiah come through the tribe, clean out the bloodline. We disciples, so put us up on the front line. Face to face with crime, cause we ain't scared to grind. When you connect to the divine, we stay pressed for time. Evangelize, get defined, put us in prison in. Worship first, but we always invite the spirit in. All revival through a pen, stacking souls in empty bins. Joe in the morning, this a warning, you will never win. Fire upon the head of the serpent, he makes tail chirping. It's too late cause your tail's already burning. I don't want your riches, gotta match it with gold streets. Movies all around me, the light shine, no police. The living used to be deceased, resurrected to a feast. Nothing like being in peace at the table with the meat.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the... Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.